Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
TexAgs Live.
I feel like I should be listening to the theme song from the Jeffersons. You know, we're moving on up.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
It's a blessing to be in this position, and we're just thankful to be here. We're thankful to have the opportunity to go out there and play in front of the 12 man.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
It's been special. The 12th man this past week was unbelievable.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Buchanan?
Nuño.
When was the last time A&M had a receiver produce 1,000 yards receiving?
That'd have been about 2016 Josh Reynolds.
God, you're so good, brother. You didn't even look at the rundown. You don't even know we have a rundown.
I actually was looking that up just this week.
Is that right?
Yeah. When I was looking, when was the last time A&M had a receiver that I was looking for big plays.
Yeah.
And that came up. So, yeah, Josh Reynolds in 2016.
1,039 yards and 12 touchdowns.
We could use that again.
So I'm going to kind of...
That guy should play in the NFL.
Yeah, he's not bad. I'm going to give you a couple of names or a couple of seasons that got close. Okay?
Christian Kirk.
And you're going to notice the closer we get to now, the further away it looks. 2017, Christian Kirk, how many? 919 yards.
Mm-hmm. I knew it was over 900. I couldn't have told you the 19 part.
2018, Jace Sternberger, 832 yards.
Yeah, I think about 50 of those came with a South Carolina defensive back being dragged down the field.
2019, Jamon Osman with 872 yards.
A really good year.
2020, Aniyah Smith, 564 yards.
Yeah. I mean, Aniyah was spectacular.
Yeah, spectacular. You'll see his name again.
They only played 9 games that year, right? Or 10 games for
10 games, right. 2021, Jalen Watermeyer, 515 yards.
And the biggest play was for him, in my opinion, wasn't even a pass he caught. It was a pass interference penalty he drew.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We're going to keep it going. 2022, Evan Stewart, 649 yards.
Yeah.
Aniyah Smith in 23 had a really nice year, 795 yards.
More of that.
Then 2024, Noah Thomas, 574 yards.
Wish Noah was still here. Nice player. Still don't think he's a number one, but the Aggies would be better with him.
What if he becomes a number one? That's going to hurt even more, brother.
It will, but and you know what? I don't have any animosity toward Noah. I'm just based on 3 years watching him play. That's the conclusion I've come to.
I agree with that. Now I'm going to get you a little. I know you already did the research on this. This is why I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
But Casey Concepcion, 2023.
Oh, he was magnificent.
Didn't get 1,000, but he wasn't that far off.
He was dang close.
839 yards.
Yeah, as a true freshman.
Is he a true freshman in 23? Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, so he was the ACC Freshman of the Year.
Last year, I forget how many yards he had, but it was maybe in the 500s, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So if someone's going to do it,
could be him.
Could it be KC?
Yeah, it absolutely could be. In fact, I think he would be, if you're betting on somebody to be 1,000-yard receiver, and maybe they won't have one, but if you were going to have one, I think he would be the favorite.
I look at this team, and in fact, before I make this statement, let's play a game, all right? It's 3 things we want to see, brought to you by the Brazos Running Company, because we're running our mouths, your local Aggie-owned specialty running store where you can find Brooks On and Hoka shoes located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station. Okay, OB.
Okay.
I'm going to give you my 3 things I want to see.
All right.
Which I don't think we're going to see, and I'll give you a reason for it, okay? I want to see a 1,000-yard receiver.
I love that.
1,000-yard running back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to see that too.
How about 3,500-yard passer at quarterback?
Outstanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Which one of those things are most likely to occur?
3,500-yard passer?
I think most likely to occur be a 1,000-yard running back.
1,000-yard running back?
Because I thought, Le'Veon was going to get that last year.
He was, yeah. I just think he's got more people
He does
in
have
the
more
room.
people to share the carries with.
And that's why I don't think these things are going to happen because, and it's a compliment to the roster, you've got capable guys that you don't have to wear somebody down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think that I think Casey Concepcion is going to be a very big boost to the running game, indirectly. Just by, and not just him, Mario Craver, and even an emerging Terry Bussey. I just think you'll see less of 8 and 9 guys in the box.
Yeah. You want to give me 3 things you want to see?
Yeah. I would love to see a 1,000-yard receiver because it's my opinion that big-time receivers now have become along with quarterbacks, but have become this I don't want to say symptom, evidence or whatever, of a strong team.
Yep.
Again, you look at national championship teams, and usually they have fantastic, productive receivers. Now, I want to see a really, and it depends on how you want to define it, a really strong secondary.
Yep.
And I want to see an even better pass rush than last year, which really shouldn't be that hard because for all the hype, they got 25 sacks.
Yeah.
So those are 3 things I really want to see.
I want to go back to that here in a second. Luke, do me a favor. Research the final 4 teams in the college football playoffs last year and let me know what their quarterback threw for, what their top running back ran for, and their wide receiver. All right? I just want to see the metrics for those 4 teams. We can go deeper than that. Yeah,
Jeremiah. Now, Michigan ran well.
A couple years ago, yeah.
Yeah, they ran well. I don't know what their receivers are going to be like. They were a little bit different. But,
last year, Ohio State had Will Howard throw for 4,000 yards. Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson both ran for 1,000. And then Jeremiah
both ran for 1,000 yards or combined for 1,000?
They both ran for over 1,000.
So what you're saying, there's a chance. Okay.
Yes, and then Emeka Egbuka and Jeremiah Smith both had over 1,000 receiving yards.
Both?
They both did.
I didn't know offense could do that.
I didn't either.
Wow. Okay, but they won the national championship. Give me the other. How about Notre Dame? How about give me some of the teams, and you can look it up. You were making a comment about. So let me ask you this, Obi, and I got to go back and watch again. I know you've watched again a couple times, but was the pass rush it was ineffective because they didn't get sacks, but was it more because they missed sacks or because they didn't get in the backfield?
They missed a lot of sacks. But there were times when it just wasn't effective. And most of that was in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
But yes, they missed a lot of sacks. In fact, just the other day, Mike Elko told us there were 26 times last year, which that was alarming to me. I mean, I knew there were a lot. 26 times last year when an A&M pass rusher had hands on the quarterback and didn't get the sack.
Oh my gosh. So we talk about last season as a bad pass rush. And it was because they finished the season not getting to the quarterback, but they got to the quarterback often. They just didn't finish the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which goes back to finish the job.
Right. Right. And there were some of those times when they didn't get to him and Lenore Sellers. And because you didn't get to him, it turned out to be a big play for the
And what was A&M's Achilles heel last year? One of their Achilles heels?
Well, pass defense.
And big plays.
And big plays, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, big plays was huge. All right.
We go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Every once in a while, we like to get our Hall of Fame people back in the saddle. All right.
I didn't know it was a Hall of Famer, but I appreciate that.
When it comes to the Social Center, when it comes to everything else, TBD.
I'll take that. So do you want to hear about Notre Dame and
give me Notre Dame.
Okay. Riley Leonard threw for 2,800 yards. Jeremiah Love ran for 1,100, and then Riley Leonard ran for 900, and they did not have a receiver over 600 yards.
And was that Greathouse?
Yeah, it was Greathouse with 590. Bo Collins had 490.
I think Greathouse is going to have a dynamic year, and they're going to throw the ball more, but I think those numbers that you just said for Notre Dame are more realistic for A&M. Although I think Marcel can throw for more than Riley Leonard.
Jadarian Price also had nearly 800 yards, so they were at over 3,000 yards on the ground.
I think that A&M, in fact, I would expect A&M to put up better receiving numbers than that.
Yep.
I like Greathouse. I was befuddled that A&M didn't aggressively recruit him out of Westlake High School, and maybe he was going to Notre Dame no matter what, and they knew that. So it could be, but I thought Notre Dame's receivers last year were rather pedestrian.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of.
But Greathouse got going at the end of the year. He absolutely did. You have some of his numbers, his game logs, throughout the playoffs, and because I mean he got going. I think the last couple games of the regular season.
Yeah, he had 128 yards in the national championship, 105 in the semifinals, 6 yards against Georgia, 8 yards against. So basically, the last 2 games.
Okay, last 2 games.
He had over half his yards, pretty much. Yeah, almost half his yards.
Like I said, when he was in Westlake, I was like, man, this guy's really good. I hope A&M can get him. And then they didn't even go for him. It was Klubnik throwing to him, I think, at Westlake.
Yeah.
So what a passing combination.
All right. What do you expect this offense to look like? You were kind of talking about it a moment ago. I want you to kind of expand on that because you think KC is going to open up the run game. So give me what the offense could look like.
I said, I think, as I wrote yesterday, I think you're going to see a new dimension with KC Concepcion. I think they're still going to run the ball, and it's going to be the starting point and even the
exclamation point.
It's going to be the basis, the foundation of the offense is the running game. But I think you're going to add in more explosiveness in the passing game. So, and that comes with Marcel being more experienced and more speed. Speed at receiver. You know, I asked Stephen McGee yesterday a question. I asked it wrong because I said, "Would you rather have a big receiver or a fast one?" And I guess what I should have said is, and this I think where I was getting at, would you rather have a big receiver with average speed, or would you rather have a fast receiver with average size?
Right. And
I think most people would take the average, the fast receiver with average size, because again, separation. I remember back in the day when Jimmy Johnson came to the Cowboys, the first thing is we got to get faster, speed. They started adding speed. Next thing you know, they were a dominant team. And I go back to what I said about the receivers earlier. You saw me a championship team. I'm going to show you, big play receivers, and you become a big play receiver because you are fast.
Did you have any other teams you wanted to share with us? Or
yeah, we can go through Penn State and Texas if you want. Okay, so Drew
Penn
Aller.
State didn't have the receivers.
No, but Drew Aller did throw for over 3,000 yards. They had a 1,000-yard receiver in Tyler Warren, I guess technically a tight end, and then nobody else over 800 yards. They also had Katron Allen and Nick Singleton go for over 1,000 on the ground. So again, another team in the semifinals with 2.
You've got to have 2 of the 3 that I just mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Drew Aller strikes me as like that soft 300 hitter. The guy that always gets a base hit when there's 2 out, nobody on. But, man, when you come up with guys in scoring position, you're down 1.
So you don't trust Penn State this year?
I think they're going to have a good record.
Yeah.
But I don't – and, I may be proven wrong, but I think Drew Aller is a maybe slightly above average quarterback.
I agree with that. Texas, Quinn threw for 3,400 yards. Trey Wisner ran for 1,000. Jaden Blue ran for 700. Matthew Golden almost had 1,000 yards. He was 13
first-round
yards
draft
short.
choice at receiver.
Yeah. All right, let's hear from...
Remember all those good Alabama teams?
I do.
Remember those good Clemson teams?
I do.
Remember their receivers?
Yeah, I do. Obi, one thing you do well.
Talk and eat.
Well, you definitely eat well. No, you ask good questions.
Oh, thank you.
So let's have an exchange with KC Concepcion. We didn't get to it yesterday, so let's run it today because it all kind of goes with our theme today of what the offense could look like. Here's OB and his buddy, KC.
Since you've gotten to know some of the guys like Marcel and I guess Le'Veon Rubin and all those guys, what do you project for this offense this year?
I project for us to be the best offense in the SEC, honestly.
Why is that?
It's just like we got everybody back. I mean, of course we went out and got a few receivers, but we got the offensive line coming back. We got Marcel going into year 2. We got all of the running backs coming back, and then we brought in a whole bunch of new receivers, explosive receivers, and all of us can do something with the ball in our hands. So
all of us can do something with the ball in our hands.
The key to that question was, why is that?
And he started going into the veterans.
Yeah, all the things we know.
The experience, yeah.
All the things, yeah. Look, I think he's going to be a phenomenal addition. I think we all believe that.
Yep.
Addition.
I
think he's going to be phenomenal. And I think he, as much as anybody, is the reason that you should have great optimism for the offense this year. He, as much as anybody, not just him. He's not necessarily the primary reason, but as much as anybody else.
I just believe in Coach Elko. I watched those practices, and look, I might be overrating it. In a year, you can put me on awful announcing. What's the tweet?
Cold, or like freezing cold.
Freezing cold take. Look, there is a discipline and a professionalism to those practices that catch my attention. Okay, there is a professionalism and a humbleness to Coach Elko's approach. The way he talks to the players, the way he gets involved in drills, as you wrote about yesterday, right? I just believe in him. And I'm going to allow his plan, his chess piece, we're all going to have opinions after each game, loss, win, season, right? I want to see what this guy can do with 3-4 years, because I'm all in on Coach Elko. I
am too. Of course, we've had talks years ago. I was all in on him before they hired him. I understood if you wanted to go after DeBoer after what they did at Washington. I got it. But all right, when that didn't work out, Elko, and then for an hour, it seemed like it was somebody else. I was kind of disappointed with that. And then I was very happy that Elko was the guy, because, again, you just look at where the trajectory of A&M football went after he left. He's an organized guy. He is very driven, like
he's
you said, disciplined. He's smart. He went to Penn. He went to Penn. He's a Quaker. Like he put the Quake in Quaker.
Can we do 8 + 8 as quickly as he can? No.
16.
But see how long it took you?
Well, yeah, it took. I don't have that many.
He answered me before you asked the question. He's an AI algorithm.
He's smart.
He is ChatGPT Elko.
He's smart.
Okay, that was
That's what we'd say in White Oak. He's smart.
He actually is really smart. By the way, you're smart too.
Oh, thank you.
Watch this trivia. You'll like this. This is going to be hard. Ready? Name of the show.
The TexAgs Live.
The TexAgs Live.
I had to count it up. TexAgs Live.
And it's got a presenting sponsor.
Yeah, David Gardner Jewelers.
And we're in a room that we call the
Rollo Insurance Studio.
And this hour, we've decided, because we're off the rails, to give it a name.
The Go Hour.
Presented by
CC Creations.
The warehouse at CC Creations.
The warehouse, CC Creations.
Yeah. And we are currently up high, sitting in a chair at a place that we call the
Cool Zone. It's not the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. Have we changed that?
The logo changed, like 7 months ago.
I turned around and looked at it and went, it looks
maybe
different.
like 5 years ago.
The Holistic Planning.
We changed that before.
The Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
All right, let's open up the phone lines.
Buppies.
You want to go to Buppies right now?
Yeah. Well, you're giving me.
Open up the phone line at
11:50.
The phone line
979.
Yeah.
And then 3 more, and then 11:50.
It's been the same number since I interned there.
I never call
in the 60s. 979-693-1150.
693.
Yeah.
11:50.
It's the Buppies Catering and Bartending hotline. You knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a guy that's probably never been a bartender because he would spaz out is Cade Bickham. He's behind the glass. Cade, good morning, buddy.
Good morning. Yeah, that's probably an accurate statement. I don't think I could. The pressure of being a bartender would be a little bit much.
Yeah,
what jobs are you? Because
you're at the pre-event for TexAgs. Yeah. So he's a bartendee.
Bartendee.
Yeah.
Was he getting his drink on?
He had some drinks.
Yeah. What jobs would you be doing, Cade, if you were not a TexAgs employee?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Like, what's your skill set?
Awesomeness. I have a very specific set of skills.
Okay.
All right, Liam Neeson. Good job. Do you understand the joke or no?
Yeah. That's why I made the joke.
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Cade, you're a killer.
That was a reference for y'all. Yeah.
Thank you. You're back in the circle of trust.
Stop messing with him. Next thing you know, we'll be strapped to
Whoa.
into a chair with electrodes all over us.
That's exactly what he meant. Kate?
Well, so you guys were talking. You said 3,500 yard. If Marcel throws for 3,500, and you want to see a 1,000-yard receiver, I think if Marcel throws for 3,500, then we probably will have a 1,000-yard receiver. I think that it's plausible to think that.
I think it's more likely that you get a 1,000-yard receiver than a 3,500 passer.
I'm not predicting he's going to throw for 3,500 because, I mean, Quinn threw for 3,400, right? So I'm not predicting it, but the game is what I want to see, and I want to see that because if I see the three things we said, we might be a Final Four team.
Maybe a Final One.
That also probably means Marcel played the entire season, which
Correct.
is a major key.
Yeah, correct. Luke, you're good at the social center.
Thank you.
I don't care what Nick says, or Richard,
or anybody
or
else.
Billy,
Also,
or Olin, or Kay, or Callie, or Dawson.
Cade was trying to say something.
sorry,
Are we
Cade.
going to cut him off?
So I got one more thing for y'all. Y'all mentioned the defensive line. You guys were talking about how they were getting in the backfield. They're missing a lot of sacks, and I think that also can be like a good stat that backs that up as well. Is that I think the tackle for loss numbers were pretty solid last year from the defense. Just when it came to getting to the quarterback, it seemed like there wasn't enough time for the most part.
There were some nice plays, especially for Scorton, in the running game for losses. But it seems like a lot of times it was feast or famine with run defense. You know, he might make some really nice plays in the backfield, but then somebody's gone.
All right, we are way late for a break. We've already checked in with Luke like 9 times at the Angry Elephant Using Social Center. All right, OB, let's just go to lunch right now.
Oh, let's go.
All right, and let's consider it to be a hour and a half lunch where we're gonna have some meetings. We're gonna talk some football, but we want to really enjoy meals for a while. A meal for a while.
Yeah, 1775.
Okay.
You know, of
Good
course. So
answer.
I guess we wouldn't want to go now because it's not open till 11. But
We can get in line.
Sure, 1775. I mean, that's where you want to go to have your meeting
For your meat?
for your meetings.
Yeah, and what are the...
Aren't you going today?
Am I? Is
Aren't
it today? Today I'm going?
I don't know. I thought you said that you were going to be going later in the week.
I am, but I haven't...
Okay.
Poor
Well,
Morgan, I haven't gotten back to him. I'm
Okay.
getting back to Morgan soon. Then.
Well, then I'm envious of you. I know envy is not, it's a deadly sin and you shouldn't have it. But I got to admit, I'm envious if you're eating at 1775 and I'm not because it's so good. It's almost
we
it's
probably
almost
need
deadly.
to... You know what we should
and
do?
sinful.
We should probably have a content team meeting there, right?
Yes, we should.
Then you'd show up to the content meeting.
Yeah.
And then we can eat some great food.
Yeah, we should. That's
should
a
do that.
great idea.
Luke, you can come too.
Okay, all right.
No,
we
disregard.
will.
1775, txbbq.com, 979-492-6241 is 1775, and
It's good.
Hey everyone, David Nuño and Olin Buchanan and OB. Typically we start off the show in this section and we call it the Holistic Planning Cool
The cool zone. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What do we know about holistic planning?
Well, a lot of cool stuff. For instance, holistic planning can help you with your investments.
I love that.
They can help you with your taxes. So
I don't like paying taxes.
You can get that money from your investments and they keep it. They'll help you keep it away from the government.
Yep.
Not all of it, but
Yep.
more of it. And then they'll even help you with your estate planning. When you're old like me, you got to make sure some of that money you made is there for when you want to retire and just enjoy the rest of your life.
You want your estate to be planned, but they also do something else.
Yeah, well, if you are like, say, a sports fan and you've always wanted to...
Everybody watching us, right?
Yeah. And you want to always dream of being an owner, well, in a certain way you can because they will broker the deal for you to invest in pro sports.
Yeah, what you need to do is check out investinprosports.com. That's where you can get all the information if you want to invest in a team. I don't know what team. He'd probably try to buy the Cowboys. I'd try to buy a lot of the Houston teams. Whatever it may be, investinprosports.com. It is holistic planning, and we love hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. And we're back. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studios to go out. We're presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. And OB, it's time to do a little 25 and 25.
25 and 25.
This is presented by La Casa Tequila.
La Casa Tequila, sí.
Do you think they like when we do the Spanish version of it?
They probably like when you do it, but they probably when I do it,
Let's do it East Texas style. Go.
Got some Casa Tequila, see?
Raised in Aggieland.
Raised in Aggieland and rooted in the SEC. Rooted in the SEC.
We didn't even plan that. That was just it's just brilliant. It's 2 lines. We should have been able to remember that.
Yeah. But I probably sound like I'm an East Texan trying to do a voice from a Spanish accent. Just doesn't work.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
See.
Just say hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola guitar. Olin's guitar.
Number 16 on the list is not Gary Busey. It's
Terry Bussey.
Terry Bussey.
Who
looks bigger.
Yeah, he is bigger than Gary Busey. But no, he's added some muscle, but he's already fast. And I think we saw the proverbial tip of the iceberg with Terry Bussey last year. I would not be surprised if he emerges as a bona fide deep threat this year.
Yeah. Was it the McNeese game that he had the big touchdown?
Had a long run for about 60 yards on a jet sweep. More Terry Bussey on the jet sweep. I remember a nice catch against Missouri. It seems like it was a back shoulder throw, and he made it. I don't know if you know what he did against Missouri is he made one of the best defensive plays of the year. It was going to be an interception.
Oh, that's right.
And he comes in and breaks it up. Very, very skilled. He unlike our man Cabe, he really does have a unique set of skills.
He does have a unique set of skills. All right, let's do this. When Billy is on the program, we're going to break it down even more here in a few hours. But
he's an East Texas guy too, by the way.
Billy's not. No, he's Terry Bussey.
Yeah, Tenenhall, Timpson, Bobo, and Blair. Timpson.
Let's get a text in at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center before we hit a break.
Yeah, we've got.
Luke?
Well, hold on. Before we get that, if you look up who's the most famous person from Timpson, Texas, Terry Bussey comes up.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
There's how many people?
There's
in
only
that
about
town?
50.
50 people or 50 famous people? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got a text from Trey and Shiner. He said, my number one concern is can we stay healthy and hoping the law of averages will work in A&M's favor after how injury-riddled they've been last couple of years.
Agree.
Here's can you stay strategically healthy, right? Or maybe that's not the right word, but can we avoid the big dips in injuries? You're going to get injured in an SEC season, right?
Yeah.
And Texas had to deal with injuries.
Yeah.
Right? So are you deeper than you were a year ago to withstand that? And can you please avoid some real major positions or people, right? I don't want my quarterback hurt. I don't want my star running back hurt. I don't want anybody hurt. But can we avoid a dip in production because of the amount of injuries and who they go to?
Agreed. That's what we're all hoping for.
All right, let's hit a break.
Health.
So it's important to have health.
It is.
Yeah, it's important to have a job if you're looking for one. The Association of Former Students, typically, that has no segue. There was no segue there.
No, you say if you want to get good health coverage?
Go to the Association of Former Students.
Yeah, I'm sure they have great benefits.
You want good events?
Yeah.
You go to the Association of Former
All
Students.
right.
You want to pick up your Aggie ring?
Yeah.
Go to the
I wish I
Association
had
of Former
one.
Students. Right?
Uh-huh.
But if you want to work somewhere with a great environment, go to the Association of Former Students. Don't miss an opportunity to help out with their awesome events at the Howdy Socials, Aggie Ring Day, class reunions, Aggie Muster, and everything in between. Join a team that exemplifies those Aggie core values of excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, and selfless service, all in support of that worldwide Aggie network. If you're interested in joining the team or sharing with someone that would be a great fit, please visit tx.ag/association jobs to apply and get more information on each position. It is the Association of Former Students. Let's talk a little Snaps clothing. David Nuño here, and I love wearing Snaps clothing everywhere. I've got the flannel on right now. You've seen me in the Tailgater collection with the A&M gear. It is fantastic. If you see me around town with my sons, Christian and Cruz, they've got a bunch of Snaps gear. When they have big games for Consol, they wear nice clothes, so they wear their Snap stuff. And I'm telling you, with baseball season here, let's all kind of go looking stylish and fit to the games there at Olsen wearing the Snaps clothing. As a reminder, they are the only official licensed Texas A&M Pearl Snaps maker out there. Their Tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics to keep you comfortable while you rep your Aggies in style. Now, whether you're watching the game from home or maybe you're in attendance, you're tailgating, whatever it may be, you got to make sure you head to snapsclothing.com to see everything they have to offer. It is fashionable, it is awesome, and you're going to love it. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, CBS has an SEC Strength of Schedule ranking, and I was going to kind of go over that with you to see if you agree.
Okay.
They have the hardest schedule in the SEC belonging to Vanderbilt because they face 4 top 15 teams, including national title contenders Texas and Alabama.
Okay.
I think the days of Vandy being a 7-win team
maybe coming to a close.
Could be. Yeah.
I'd have to look at what the rest of their schedule looks like.
Kay, do you have their schedule? If you could pull it up for us here, we would appreciate that.
Because I'm going to give them more. Okay, they're beating Charleston Southern. They may be beating Virginia Tech, and Quite frankly, I wouldn't pick them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they beat
South
Carolina. Not there. Georgia State's a win. Utah State's probably a win.
So that's 4 right there, right?
Yeah, they're losing to Alabama, probably losing to LSU. Missouri.
Toss up.
Yeah, they dang near beat them last year.
Yeah. So that's 5.
Probably lose to Texas. I don't like them against Auburn.
That's okay.
Kentucky, I'd take them, I think. And you know what?
They could, that last game.
Tennessee is. I have real serious questions about Tennessee. If I was looking for a team to say, you know what, they're going to take a step back from what they did last year, Tennessee would be first on my list.
Second hardest schedule in the SEC, according to CBS Sports, Mississippi State. Every game should be hard for them.
Yeah.
They went 2-10.
Yeah, maybe they'll find a way to win a couple more, but I don't see how they're going to be much better.
Hot seat Pittman with the third hardest schedule in the SEC.
Yeah, got to go to Ole Miss. Got Notre Dame. Now they beat Tennessee last year, but now they got to go over there. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. They get A&M at home, and they're going to be sky high for that. Auburn, I don't think so. Mississippi State, maybe a win. At LSU and then at Tech. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Looking like a
5-win team?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It looks like a new coach in 2026. Is what it looks like.
Oklahoma, fourth hardest schedule. And the note, it says that pretty manageable schedule until you get to November.
Imagine that.
Who do they have in November? At Tennessee, Alabama.
As of today, I'm taking Oklahoma over Tennessee on October 1st. They lose to Alabama. Missouri, Oklahoma probably wins. And then LSU, I'd probably take LSU, even though I think it'll be a closer game.
Yep. At South Carolina as well this year.
And then they play Texas. And
as always.
Texas.
Michigan week 2, though?
Michigan should be better. Oh, yeah. Look, Michigan will be better. They can't be
They can't be worse.
And Michigan actually closed fairly well.
They ended up winning 7 games.
Didn't they beat South? Who'd they win the bowl game? Did they beat South Carolina in a bowl game?
They did, yeah. So, all right, fifth hardest schedule, the Lagways.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty difficult schedule.
I thought you knew all things.
Michigan played Alabama.
Oh, Alabama.
In the bowl game.
Okay,
and
did they
won.
win? Okay. So it wasn't South.
Yeah.
I knew it was an SEC team that was pretty good.
Did they finish with 8 wins last year?
Let me get right to that. They were 8-5.
Yeah. Okay. The Fighting Lagways?
Yeah, if he's out there, of course. I know they play LSU. I know they play A&M on the road. There it is. At Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I'm not sure what they are.
They may lose 4 straight games. LSU, Miami, Texas, and Texas A&M. That's a possibility.
Especially with, we don't know how serious that DJ Lagway injury is early in the season.
And then they have Georgia coming later. Of course, Georgia may not. Georgia's going to be good. They may not be as good as we're used to, but they're going to be good.
They're going to be 9-3 good or 10-2 good?
Maybe 9-3 good.
Yeah. And
maybe one of those losses is to Florida. Florida, I keep hearing how great Florida's going to be, and I like their offense.
Yeah.
But I have real misgivings about the Gators on defense.
The 6th hardest schedule.
Real quick, David.
Yes,
do you guys think that they maybe, if Lagway's not 100% by the start of the season, you think they sit him those first couple of games to make sure he's ready for Miami?
I think they get him out there as soon as possible.
You don't want that to linger.
Because Napier needs a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, he salvaged it. I thought he was out the door. And then
After
they salvaged it in the second half of the year.
Yep.
But he needs as many wins as he can get, I believe.
6th hardest schedule in the SEC, according to CBS Sports, Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
We don't need to break down the schedule. You know, probably 3 top 10 teams on the road.
Well, if you're believing all the hype on some of the teams, then maybe it should be better than that. Because, all right, everybody's going to say Texas is a national championship contender. I keep hearing LSU might be in Notre Dame. And then you're telling me, well, we're just talking about how much better Florida's supposed to be, and South Carolina's ranked really high. Auburn's supposed to be so much better. So, there's 8 of the games right there. You say, well, if you listen to the hype, you figure they're no better than a toss-up.
And
you got to go to Arkansas.
They're Arkansas, though.
They're not Arkansas anymore. They were Arkansas. They may be Arkansas again.
I mean, I think A&M's won 2 straight, though, right? In that series?
Oh, yeah. I mean, A&M's won, 10 of 11 or 11 of 12?
7th hardest schedule, LSU.
Well, they got to play A&M. Of course, they get them at home. They get Florida, and that game might be in that game might be in Baton Rouge. I can't remember where that game is. Clemson to start. They're at home against Florida. Go to Ole Miss. Get South Carolina at Vandy.
3 possible losses. I mean, there's more than 3 possible, but like 3 I'm looking at like, I don't know.
Okay, the ones I know they're going to win. They're going to beat Louisiana Tech. They're going to beat Southeast Louisiana. They're going to beat Arkansas, and they're going to beat Western Kentucky. And they got to go to Oklahoma. So I'm saying, there's 4 wins in the bank. And then I think the other 8, they're going to be favored in a lot of them, but I just don't know if there's a game I say you're absolutely going to win. Are they going to win a lot of them? Yeah. But are they absolutely going to win? I don't know.
Number 8, Texas.
Really? Okay.
Middle of the pack.
They play Georgia on the road.
Yeah.
They get Vanderbilt.
Ohio State week 1.
I mean,
right there, that's,
And then there's that, powerful Spartans of San Jose State.
Now, we've been talking Florida a lot this morning, but if Florida...
And they got to go there.
You got to go there. It's a different animal, right? And it's...
Yeah, it's an alligator.
If Lagway's healthy.
It's not a big cow.
Oh, they do have... Well, they find out what A&M has found out too many times, that going to Mississippi State's hard.
It is, but...
But it isn't.
But let's face it, Mississippi State has had some good teams.
Yeah.
And then Mike Leach died. And then they had that buffoon,
Zach Arnett.
And now Lebby is just trying to piece something together. And when he does make progress, then his good guys leave.
I'm going to fast forward through number 9, Kentucky, because I want to get to number 10 and 11. Number 10, Alabama.
Well, they get Vanderbilt at home this year, so that's different. And they got to go.
They're going to demolish Florida State.
Yeah, I believe that. I think in Wisconsin, it's a overrated Big Ten.
They're going to be 5-1 heading to their game against Tennessee.
I think they're going to be undefeated going to play Tennessee. And again, I don't.
Oh, you think they beat Georgia at Georgia?
Yeah, and I don't think Tennessee's going to be very good. I didn't think that about Georgia for a while, but now I'm starting to think that.
Well,
they may be going. The trap game for them is South Carolina, much like it was for A&M. They're either going to be 6-1 or 7-0, and then they have LSU waiting for them the next week, and you're going to on the road probably at night, South Carolina, and that's going to be the trap game for them.
Do you have Texas beating Georgia on the road too?
I probably, as of today, would pick Texas.
Yeah,
especially after hearing David Pollock yesterday.
Yeah. Number 11, Auburn. So remember, the deeper this goes, the easier the schedule gets. Auburn, number 11 on here. It's never easy, as it says, with Bama and Georgia on your schedule. But
the thing that gets me about Auburn is, again, they're excellent receivers. I wish we had Auburn's receivers, and we almost did.
Yeah.
Auburn, okay, they got the pass rusher, and I can't think of his name right offhand right now, but Keldrick something. And he's really good. Oh, Keldrick.
Capers?
No. Yep. Anyway, he's really good.
Keldrick Falk.
Thank you. So he's really good. But after that, they lost some really good players on the defense that I don't think was that great anyway. And they got DJ Smirkin running them. So I question them on defense. Now, they got receivers like crazy, and Jackson Arnold, I guess he's going to be an upgrade from Peyton Thorne, but then why does he run out of Oklahoma? Mm-hmm. Their best player last year was Jarquez Hunter. He's not there anymore. They're supposed to have a great offensive line. Okay, we'll see.
Well, yeah.
Auburn's going to be better. I have no doubt. I just wonder how much better.
All right. I'll go quickly through these next couple. Number 12, Ole Miss. 13, South Carolina. 14, Georgia. How does Georgia have one of the easier schedules? Pull that one up for us. Marshall P. at Tennessee.
Well, see, people are basing, I'm sure, on what they were last year. The teams were in. Tennessee was good last year. I don't think Tennessee's going to be very good this year.
Georgia Tech, that one went down, back and forth. Georgia Tech probably should have won that game last year.
Had a great opportunity. They get Texas at home, Florida and neutral site. We don't know what Ole Miss is going to be. Okay, if you say so.
And then again for back-to-back years, Missouri, The easiest schedule in the SEC.
Boy, that schedule sure makes Drinkwitz a great coach, doesn't it?
The first line here is Missouri should challenge for 10 wins again with this schedule.
Maybe.
I mean, Bama lost.
They could lose to Kansas.
I'm picking A&M today.
They could lose to South Carolina.
And I'm picking Oklahoma today. I might pick Auburn.
And Vanderbilt. I guarantee you Vanderbilt's going to have the better quarterback in that game.
Yeah.
Probably the better tight end. I can't look, that's Missouri without that. I can't remember the kid's name, but he was the first round draft choice at tackle. It's not Brady Cook. That's not Luther Burden. It's not Theo Weiss. And I think Kristen Jackson was a good defensive tackle for him last year. And then there was another guy that was drafted.
They had a good running back as well.
Yeah, Nate Noel. And they had another guy on defense that was drafted pretty high. I can't think of it. I'd have to look it up. But, I mean, they lost a lot of premium talent off that team.
All right, let's hit a break here. We'll come back. Do you think I'm wearing duck camp right now?
Is that a duck camp shirt? Because I don't think so.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I was going to say, you weren't looking that good.
I got the duck camp joggers on, bro. You can't really see it.
Oh.
Sorry, Kate. I'm going to walk over here and make it awkward, and I'm sure I'll hear from somebody. Look at that. You like the joggers? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yeah.
They look good.
They do.
I haven't worn these yet. I was very excited to wear them because they look like I could go for a jog with them, and I can wear them to work.
Hence the name.
Yeah, they're joggers. Duck camp. What's your favorite duck camp gear?
You know, I got to tell you, I really like that hat.
Yeah,
with the duck on it. And quite frankly, you know, I told you, my son loved it all so much, he just confiscated my duck camp stuff. And he just took it all. And to be honest, of course, it looked good on me. It looks great on him.
Yeah. He's jacked. I mean, it should look good.
He's a muscular kid. I'm a fat guy.
The performance hoodie, my favorite. They also have the scout shorts, the essential hoodie, the lightweight fishing shirt. Check it out at duckcamp.com. Duckcamp.com, built for the outdoors, designed for everything else. Bank on a Time, presented by Vera Bank. Authentic relationship-based banking built for real life. Go see Joel Jackson and the team. Learn more at verabank.com. What are you banking on?
I'm banking on KC Concepcion adding that new dimension to the offense. Not alone, but leading the way with a more explosive offense. I'm banking on that. I'm banking on the return of Le'Veon Moss, making that running game as strong as we expected it to be, or as it was last year.
Yep.
Maybe even stronger with Reuben Owens back there too. And I am banking on another cornerback being really effective opposite Will Lee. I don't know if it's going to be Tyreek Chappelle. I don't know if it's going to be Julian Humphrey. Des Ricks, actually, I was watching him in practice yesterday, and he looked pretty good out there. And I think he's made some improvement.
So a moment ago, AI became a topic on not on the show, on the behind-the-scenes part of the show. And you were saying you saw a puppy do what, Luke?
No, so like AI is getting very realistic, and I saw like a puppy jump. So it was like a normal video of what I thought was of a puppy, and then it like started jumping up really high, and I was like, no, like a puppy wouldn't do that. But in defense of OB, who thought he saw a real quote that ended up being fake.
See, I already told you I knew it was fake. I was actually waiting for you to say, is that right? And I was going to say, yeah, it's AI. But don't ever believe anything Luke tells you.
Yeah. Well, the reason I found that interesting, Luke, is because, my algorithm has got certain things in it.
Jocko, motivational speeches, how to cook exactly 8 grams of protein.
No, I do that video myself. But I saw a video of jiu-jitsu guys jiu-jitsuing a bear. And it took me like a watch or two to be like, is that possible? It looks so real.
It does. I saw one with scuba divers with a dog in like this bubble. So they take the dog under. I'm like, that dog looks awful calm.
Right.
And it's, wait a minute, that ain't real like that. But in that one, I had to look at that and, turn my head kind of like a confused dog. I was like, what? What is that?
Buchanan, have a great weekend, buddy.
I'm going to.
Yeah, thank you. Football season is here, but our weekends, I think we got a kind
We're
of a
in the month of football season.
We have a game. It's
this
August
month?
1st. I didn't tell the people. Do they know?
Well, they know now.
August 1st, 2025? Did they know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would hope.
Thank you.
Only had 8 months to figure it out.
When we come back on TexAgs Live, who's going to take a step up in college football? Who's going to take a step back? Text us at 979-693-1150. I'm going to give you a couple teams to consider. Luke, I'll allow you in my palace to say a team or two, or agree or disagree. You better agree. It's TexAgs Live. All right, we're back. TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in here on the program. I asked a question at the other side of the break. Tell me teams are going to step up, teams are going to take a step back, maybe some tweener teams. We'll talk about that here on the program. And, okay, I'm glad my computers went rogue. Luke, I'm going to give you one that you know a little bit about that we've already discussed. A team that's going to take a step up. And this is Captain Obvious here because of what we saw at the end of last season. But I believe Michigan, although I don't know if they're a playoff team. I'm not saying that. They might be because there's too many questions with a brand new quarterback, right? Yeah. But I think Michigan takes a step forward this year. They were really bad to start the year. They finished the season hot. They went 8-5 last year. They obviously had that whole identity. The identity stayed the same, but it was a complete turning of the page with a brand new head coach who was in the system, obviously. National championship team, all those players go to the NFL. So I think Michigan, it was really about their defense last year, right? And when their defense started playing better at the end of the year, they ranked 91st in QBR, dead last in the country in passing yards per game among non-service academies. Like, that's major flaws for a team that was their identity for so long.
Yeah, and that's, as somebody who watched Michigan a lot growing up, that Michigan team of last year, it's hard to judge them because they were so bad, but they did the one thing that can redeem any bad season, and that's beat Ohio State, which I think Michigan fans care more about than really anything else. So like they needed to win that game to stay to basically, I think they had 6 wins. They were 6-6 or 6-5 when that game happened. So they needed it. And obviously that game meant a lot to them, but that game kind of overshadowed just how horrible of a season that was. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I just remember some of the losses they had were so uncharacteristic. Yeah. And then beating Alabama, it's like the way they salvaged their season. People forget just how bad of a team that was. But you bring in Bryce Underwood and
now he's not guaranteed the starter, right? Mikey Keene could be.
Yeah, but if you're paying that guy that much money and he's got all the hype that comes with being a 5-star, I would be very surprised if he wasn't the starting quarterback. But you're absolutely right. Some of the teams that you have taking a step up, it's like they almost can't get any worse.
So they got to take a step up.
They have to take a step up.
We'll find out. Like Florida State's my second team.
Yeah. I mean,
what did they do? 2-10 last year? They got to be better. Now, it may not start better because they start off with Alabama.
Right. But and Castellanos has been running his mouth. I don't know who
and I want him to throw 6 interceptions in that game. I do. But my point with Florida State is they're going to be significantly better. That doesn't mean that I think they're going to be competing for the playoffs. I think they'll be a 7-ish win team. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but last year got out of control and it just spiraled.
Yeah.
I don't think they were a 2-win team entering last year. That's what they were because that's right. But I think they're significantly better. And I think Castellanos is going to be okay, right? It's going to be okay. But
can he be any worse than DJ?
DJ was the worst. I mean, and I like DJ, but he was. They're watching a movie next door. It's a very loud movie, by the way. I don't know if you can hear that, Kate, but it's pretty loud. DJ was so bad. Castellanos will be better. So that's an easy one. I almost feel like it's too easy to use them as one of my teams, but they're going to be better.
I think it's hard for me to judge these ACC teams. Like, I was thinking, what do I think about Georgia Tech? Because they bring back a lot of pieces from last year.
But can they be better?
But can they be better? But then it's like they were 7-5, so I think their record is going to be better, but I don't know if they're going to be a better team. Because if you don't play Clemson, they only play Clemson, and then they're going to play Georgia. The rest of the ACC and the rest of their schedule is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, you can get by beating the Boston Colleges and the Wake Forest without actually being a better team than you were last year and still come out with more wins than they had last year. So is that technically they are taking a step up, but are they a better team? I don't think so.
Well, can I jump in here for Georgia Tech real quick? Because I think Haynes King, he was good last year. They played a lot of close games last year. They almost beat Georgia. They almost in that crazy however many overtimes it went.
Yep.
4 overtimes. So I don't think it's ridiculous to say that that they could be better this year. They could win 8-9 games, and I think that'd be a pretty reasonable, prediction. They might not, but if they're bringing a lot of people back and they're playing that many close games, who's to say they didn't learn, how to win some of those this year.
I got one for you that I don't necessarily believe. I think they're going to be in the same vicinity, which to me is a step up for this program. Illinois, they won 10 games last year, okay? They returned 16 starters, and I just think they're solid in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Right? So if they're a 9 or 10 win team, if they're the Indiana of last year, right? Like, could they make a run for the playoffs? I don't know if they're that level of good, but they were 10-3 last year. They returned most of their team, or a big portion of the contributors. Why wouldn't they be as good or a little bit better?
Yeah, they've also got a really manageable schedule. I mean, they're going to play Duke in the non-conference. They got to go at Indiana. They'll host USC, and then they got to host Ohio State. But you look at the back half of the schedule: Purdue, Washington, Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, Northwestern.
They win that whole thing.
Did I name a team that's going to be bowl eligible? I don't think I did. Maybe Wisconsin, but that whole back half of the schedule, if they take their lumps early, and we all know if there is a time to lose games, it is early, they could be riding into the back half of the season with 4 or 5 wins in a row.
Here's one. I'm going to give the exact same scenario, but there's no way they're better, okay? But I'm going to say they're a better team. If you could pull up Arizona State's schedule last year and remind me, they got hot late. They did not start hot. They won 11 games last year, right? Yeah. They won the Big 12.
They almost lost to Texas State, and then they lost to Texas Tech, and then they won 1-2. They lost to Cincinnati 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row.
Yeah, they got hot, and they had a chance against Texas, right?
They did. They probably should have won that.
So when I say they'll take a step up, I think because sometimes when a team like Illinois, you just think they got the bet. If a team like Arizona State or Illinois is in the same conversation the next year, that's a step up for a program. Like A&M. If A&M wins 10 games this year, it'd be a step up to me to do it back-to-back years.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my point. I think that they can win 9 or 10 games again and also potentially be a playoff team.
Yeah, and you look at their schedule, they've got to go at Mississippi State, which, you know, it's Mississippi State. That Texas State game was troublesome for them, but they get them at home. Then you've got probably, if there is a stretch of a tough Big 12 schedule, which is pretty rare, they go at Utah, host Texas Tech, and then host Houston, which are probably 3 of the better programs, 3 of the top 5 or 6 programs that the media projects in the Big 12 this year. But then you finish with Iowa State, West Virginia, Colorado, and Arizona. You talk about getting hot at the end of last year. They can certainly do that again this year.
Speaking of Texas Tech, I did not include them here, but they spent all the money in the world. And apparently they have one of the 5 easiest schedules in the country.
Yeah.
So they could absolutely be in this list. My 5th team is actually a fake answer. I've given a lot of fake answers, but this one's a really fake answer. Because I think this team is at a point where they could take a step up, or they could take 2 steps back. And more than likely take a step back, because I just don't believe in it. But Miami, they went 9-4 last year, one of the best offenses in the country. Cam Ward obviously had an amazing season. That's why he was drafted where he was drafted, right? They were, the number 1 scoring offense in the country? I can't imagine that happening again. But their defense should be significantly better. And if Carson Beck is really good, because there were moments Carson Beck was good with not a lot of skill position guys that he was throwing to.
Yep.
If he is really good, then they could absolutely be a team with in an ACC where I think they can win some games. But they're one of these teams that, if Carson Beck isn't that, and again, that's a big question because we haven't seen it consistently from Carson Beck. If he isn't that, then they could go way in the other way. They could be a 7-win team.
Yeah, I know obviously Cam Ward is a huge loss with the number 1 overall pick, but they bring back most of their front 7, almost all of their front 7. The secondary is going to be completely new. And then offensively, you lose skill position players, but you've still got Mark Fletcher, who was a great running back, 500 yards and then 600 yards. He could take a step up. But then again, they play in a conference where I know what happened last year with Miami. They kept getting bailed out a lot in games, but a lot of your games in the ACC are games that a team with that talent level and with that head coaching pedigree, they should win, and they should win those close games once again this year. But you got to play Florida. Who knows what DJ Lagway looks like, but it is
What was
Carson
that one
Beck.
loss that they had that was ridiculous? It wasn't Duke. Who was it? Where Cristobal...
I think you're thinking of Georgia Tech a couple years ago, where it was the week after they beat A&M, and Cristobal just had to kneel it, and he kept running it.
Yes,
They
yeah,
turned
that's it.
over,
Yeah, that was 2 years
and
ago.
then Haynes King threw that touchdown. But
that's 2 years ago. All right, let's do teams that are going to take a step down in 2025. Should I give Captain Obvious number one?
Yeah.
Colorado.
I mean, yeah.
I don't want to do a disclaimer every time I talk about Colorado, but like obviously Dion is a storyline for his medical reasons and bladder cancer. Obviously, great news that he's doing much better. They went 7-6 last year.
7-5 after the. Oh yeah, you're right.
7-6.
Sorry, I was forgetting the bowl game
with a couple of NFL players, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine with Shadur Sanders, who the offense was tailored around, and Travis Hunter playing every play ever, everything like he kicked to, that they can take a step up this year. With like, what was the joke that Shane Gillis did? Like, they barely get bowl eligible,
right?
And they retire his number.
Yeah, it wasn't because of nepotism. Hold on, it was because he went had 7 wins and almost won the Alamo Bowl.
They were 9-4 actually.
Oh, 9-4. So it was the year before that they were 7-6. I'm sorry.
Year before they weren't. They were 5-7. They didn't make a bowl game.
Where did I get 7-6 from? Okay,
I'm not sure.
Okay, 9-4. So they went 9-4. I guess I'm getting the Shane Gillis joke in my head because the 5-7 season. But you lose those guys. You got what? K-State, Arizona State, BYU, TCU. I don't know. Is this a 6-win team? A 5-win team?
I don't think so. Who's their quarterback? It's Julian. Is it Julian Lewis or somebody who was like a 5-star, all the hype.
It's like Lewis or Salters.
Julian Lewis. It is Julian Lewis.
Will probably be the backup, and Salter from Liberty will be their starting quarterback. But I just can't trust that team. Does Dion still care because his kids aren't there? Like,
I'm sure he cares. I mean, the guy's a competitor, but I've said this a couple times this week. Dion is an interesting story because there's a lot to like about Dion, and there's a lot to not want your kids to play there. Right? There's both. Like, I've seen some clips of him where I'm like, God, that was a great message, and like he really cares for this team. Then you hear some of the stories from the guys that transferred out, how he treated them. So there's that. Boise State, no Ashton Genty. They went 12-2. I know their schedule ain't that, but they don't have Ashton Genty anymore. They got to take a step back, right? He was like 85% of their offense.
No, you're absolutely right. He was everything to that offense. However, they only had, I believe, 2 draft picks last year. They only lost 2 players. Obviously, they lost a player who, in my opinion, should have won the Heisman Trophy. But they bring back their starting quarterback in Maddox Madsen, and pretty much every receiver except Cam Camper. They've got.
Did they throw the ball at all?
But they're going to have to this year.
Which is why they can't be better. They can't be 12-2.
I need to look at their schedule because we're talking about Boise State, and you're absolutely right. They may not be a college football playoff team, but who are they going to play that's going to be better than them? They're going to play South Florida. App State. Okay, I don't know how good App State will be losing their quarterback this late in the year. They play Notre Dame. Utah State should be good, and those are 2 games where and obviously I don't know all that much about Mountain West football, but I know Colorado State lost a lot of pieces in their quarterback and their wide receiver, and Boise State has the experience of a lot of guys on offense who played in a college football playoff game, and they've got their starting quarterback back. So maybe they won't be to the level they were last year, but I don't think they're going to be a team fighting for bowl eligibility. I still think they're going to be at least an 8-win, 9-win team.
We don't need to spend a lot of time on this one because we kind of did it earlier with OB, but Missouri. They got the easiest schedule in the SEC, but I just can't imagine with a brand new nucleus on offense that you're better than you were last year. Now, your schedule may allow you to be better, but I just don't see that happening. I don't see Missouri being another 10-win team.
Well, I didn't think Missouri was very good last year.
And they won 10 games.
And they did. And that was because part of their schedule was playing UMass and Boston College. They had a lot of...
It's a smart play, by the way.
No, very... Oh, and if I was Eli Drinkowitz, I wouldn't schedule anybody tough either. But then when you get to SEC play, they also had a pretty manageable schedule. And they get that again because the schedules are just flipped from last year. But I think Obi made a great point. the team probably will not be as good, but their record could get them to 8, 9, 10 wins, and they could look just as good as last year, even though they're just benefiting from an easy schedule. And obviously A&M has to go on the road and play them, and that was for a long point in time. The last time A&M even won a road game was at Missouri. So I don't think Missouri will be too good, but unfortunately you have to give them the benefit of the doubt just simply based on the fact that they did win 10 games last year and their schedule is easy. One thing I'll give them is there's a lot of hype on Ahmad Hardy, their running back. Yeah. A lot of hype. He was the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year. Really, apparently he's like going to be the truth. So he's a name that people need to be paying attention to. I'm trying to see. He rushed for 103 yards against Troy, 94, against the Warhawks, Southern Miss, another 174 all-purpose game. Freshman season rushing of 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. Guy, obviously different competition you're facing, but I think that does translate in today's era of college football. Yeah, and they bring back Zion Young, who they sent to media days, who was one of the better defensive ends in the SEC. But yeah, I mean, offensively, you lose two of the best wide receivers Missouri's probably had in a very long time in Theo Weiss and Luther Burden. And then defensively, there's going to be a lot of holes outside of Zion Young. They bring back Dre Norwood, who at one time was at A&M in the secondary, but that secondary wasn't very good last year. Yep. I can say they weren't very good against A&M, but then they went out and won 10 games. But I still didn't think Missouri was a very good team last year. I didn't either, but I'd trade their season. Yeah. And I think you would in a heartbeat. I'm at a point where I give me all the easy games, right? Like, get me into the playoffs, give me all the easy games. Let me believe. Vanderbilt. I talked about it earlier, but I can't see lightning in a bottle twice. It's funny to say 7 wins is lightning in a bottle, right? Like A&M won 7 games a couple years ago and Jimbo was gone. Right. But I just don't see it 2 years in a row. But they do bring back their core, right? Like they do. But it's the opposite of Missouri because they bring back a lot of talent, but they have a really tough schedule. Yeah. But for Vanderbilt, the standard is just don't be the worst team in the SEC. So when they have a season where they beat Alabama and make a bowl game, that to them, that's 10 wins. Yep. That is their best season in a long time. So for them to match that with the schedule they have and the road games they have, and then again, playing at home as Vanderbilt is also kind of a road game sometimes when you play teams that travel well, but I just can't see them getting back to that record, even though I think the team will be just as good as they were last year with Stowers and Pavia. So the teams that I'm putting a caution tag on, okay? Tell me if you agree. Miami, okay? Yeah. They could win the ACC. I think Clemson's going to win the ACC, but I'm saying Miami's a team that I could see go either way. Yeah. Illinois, I don't think they go either way. And I don't know if they win 10 games again, but I look at their schedule, I look at what they're bringing back, why not? Arizona State, again, hot at the end of last year. Not their entire team back, but a big portion of their team back. And Boise State, a team that I think takes a step back, but you made a really good case. Like, who are they playing? Like, yeah. But you lose your identity on. I mean, what happened to A&M when they lost Le'Veon? Right? No, you're absolutely right. So they were able to pass the ball better, more effectively, but the team was not better without Le'Veon. Yeah. So there's that. And then for sure, step up Michigan, Florida State, Illinois. I don't know about for sure on Illinois. They're, as I said, they're a maybe. Step down, Colorado is a for sure. Oh, one team I didn't talk about, Indiana. Yeah. Indiana has to take a step back, right? Yeah. Are we really betting on Kurt Signetti replicating the lightning in a bottle he found last year? I mean, I don't know. They might play nobody, and it's certainly possible for them to, because I don't know how the Big Ten schedules work. I don't know if they got a completely new schedule or if it's just the inverse of last year. But if it's the inverse schedule of last year, their only tough game is Ohio State because they're playing the women and children of the blind for every other non-conference game. That team's got an underrated running game, though. Yeah. The women and children of the blind? Yeah, no, I'm sure they do. Okay, you're looking at me like you thought I was being for real. I thought you were talking about Indiana. I was like, what? No. Old Dominion on their schedule. Kennesaw State. Okay, that's 2 wins. Indiana State. Yeah, and then it's not basketball. Illinois. But at Indiana. Maybe. That's a 50-50. At Iowa. I don't think Iowa's going to be good. At Oregon. Okay, they're losing that. So it's a new schedule.
They're 4-2. They host Michigan State. I don't know enough about Michigan State. They were terrible last year.
No.
So that's 5-2. They host UCLA.
Maybe.
I'm going to give them the win just for right now.
Okay, yeah.
God, I'm giving them too many wins. So that makes them 6-2.
Yeah.
Maryland.
They
should destroy Maryland. 7-2. At Penn State, they lose.
Yeah. Okay, it's a new schedule for them.
Wisconsin. I don't know about Wisconsin this year. And they go to Purdue.
So they should definitely make a bowl game. They should probably
8 or 9 win team.
Yeah, 8 wins.
8 or 9 win team. And it could come down to that UCLA game.
But that's a step down because they're not beating Penn State and Oregon.
No.
There is absolutely no way that Indiana team, so that's already 2 more losses.
Right.
That's already 2 losses right there.
They might throw the ball a little bit better this year, though, because they have that Mendoza kid who transferred from Cal.
Well, and then quickly, we should say Tennessee was one
Tennessee
team that
was
you brought
my
up.
team.
Go ahead and tell me.
Well, I mean, Tennessee's entire identity is running the ball. If you're not picking A&M to lead the conference in rushing, you're picking Tennessee because that's how it was last year with Dylan Sampson. And obviously, when you lose a quarterback in Nico Amaliava so late, I don't know what they have in Joey Aguilar. I don't know how well his skills are going to translate to the SEC, but I know that Heupel is an exceptional coach, and if anybody can do it with a defense that brings back Jermod McCoy, and they've got a lot of continuity on the back end, who knows what Tennessee could be with one of those easier schedules. But you look at it, they've got to play Georgia. They play Florida late, which if I would want to play Florida, I want to play them early when I don't know if DJ Lagway is going to play, and if he does, how healthy he'll be. So they get Florida late, which could be challenging. They also get Alabama. I just don't know if Tennessee, if the bar is getting to the playoff as one of the last couple teams in, which they were last year, I just don't think they're going to get back to that level, but it could still be a 9-win season for them. I just don't think the team will be as good and the record will be as good. So technically they will be taking a step down, even though it's still a 9-win season, which is, A&M would like a 9-win season.
So a couple reasons that they could be better. They returned 13 starters.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys are on defense, and their defense was elite. But a reason to believe that they won't be is they lost James Pierce Jr. So there are reasons to say that they'll take a step back defensively. But again, when you change the quarterback that late and uncertainty with the quarterbacks you have, regardless if you had a full offseason, it's not as good of a quarterback room.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, we'll hit a break here. Milliken Reserve time. By the way, if you want to send your thoughts on who's up, who's down, I know some of you put it on the YouTube page. Milliken Reserve is a farm-to-table community in College Station. They've got homes, they've got trails, they've got farms, they've got wide open spaces, and they have a mission to build a healthy community around nature. They've dedicated to the conservation of a beautiful and healthy community. When you go there, don't be surprised by all the acreage, 2,600 acres of open space, farms, and 30 miles of trails and homes. They want to connect families to nature and to each other, and they have an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape, includes walking and equestrian paths, creeks and ponds, and gathering areas. And they're committed to maintaining and restoring that natural habitat. When you go there, you'll see all the animals you can imagine. The white-tailed deer, the songbirds, the rabbits, the turtles. And homeowners at Milliken Reserve sharing a legacy of conservation, which means generation after generation, you're coming back to that pristine countryside place. It is Milliken Reserve. You can check them out at millikenreserve.com. That is millikenreserve.com. We're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. One team that I didn't have on my list that I could have easily put on it was Arkansas. They're not going to win 7 games this year. They're taking a step back.
Yeah.
They just better not win against A&M, right? Like that's just the one thing I'm saying. Like, I think they're a 5 or 6 win team.
Yeah, I don't think they're very good. All their best receivers are in the NFL now.
And
I know Taylor Green. Yeah,
we're still at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. We're still there. I know some people had some comments on the YouTube page.
Yeah, we've got some comments on LSU will take a step up, Georgia small step back, Alabama also a small step back. Alex Schoonover, who
will be interning here soon.
That name sounds familiar. He's active in the YouTube chat. Very inquisitive response, and he is a ball knower, I can tell from this response. He said TCU will take a step up. Josh Hoover is a Heisman dark horse, along with a great receiving core and veteran offensive line. He said Big 12 champs, book it. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far with TCU, but I do think that if there was ever a year for that program to get back to the level that they were at when they made the college football playoff, it's this year. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoff, but what they win 6-7 games last year? I think they should be better.
Schoonover, by the way, reminds me. This is what I think about him. You'll get to meet him here soon in a couple of weeks when he starts doing the Social Center. But he's a tryhard, and I like tryhards, right? But he's probably an athlete who's a tryhard. So like I'm a tryhard, but I'm not an athlete. I'm terrible at everything. He seems like he'd be really good at stuff, but he also tries hard. Those are my favorite kind of people.
Hold on, I need to fact check myself. TCU was 9-4 last year. That was an underrated 9-4. I think I just watched them get walloped by SMU and totally changed my perception of that team, but they closed pretty strong. They won 6 of their last 7 games.
How old are you?
23.
So in 2 years, insurance is going to be really good for you.
Great segue.
You like that segue?
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now you're still in the young zone, which means you get a speeding ticket.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for that, for letting me be on the plan.
Yeah. Well, Rollo Insurance, buddy. That's the way to roll. When the unexpected happens, whether it's a car accident, property damage, or business liability, preparation matters. And that's why I have the Rollo Insurance Group. They ensure that you're properly covered before crisis strikes. Their independent agents provide a consultation across all insurance types, giving you confidence that details are handled correctly. 60 offices in Texas. Love that. Experts are all over the place. The true value of insurance becomes clear in those critical moments when you need to file a claim. Rollo agents will walk you through each step of the process. Don't wait until disaster strikes to discover gaps in your coverage. What you need to do is visit Rollo Insurance at rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. We'll see if my All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Bumpy's Catering Hotline. Super excited about our next guest. You heard him on ESPN TV and radio for years. You can catch him on Fox Sports Radio. He's all over Yahoo Sports as well. Jason Fitz joining us here on the program. What's up, Fitz? How you been, man?
Man, I'm great. I'm happy to be on, and just, my God, can you believe we're finally at a spot where we can actually talk about football? Like, we've spent so much time obsessing about what college football is going to look like. I just can't wait for games to come back Saturday to remind us why we love covering the sport.
You got it, man. Hey, I wanted to talk a little bit first about your career, because I'm trying to remember. I know you've told the story before. You were doing music in Nashville before you became a sports talk host, right? Am I getting that part of the story correct?
Yeah. I was the fiddle player for a country band, the band Perry. We were lucky enough when I left the band to have, at the time, the 4th biggest song of all time in country music, If I Die Young. So I got a bunch of the plaques behind me from them and from other people that I played for over the years. So yeah, I was a touring and session musician for years, and we were out on the road. And back in, I think it was 2013, I realized that, like, lucky to do what I did and incredible life, but it just didn't feed my soul. And Buddy asked if he asked me 100 of my closest friends what I truly care about the most, what would the answer be? And I said sports without hesitation. And he said, all right, start talking about sports. So before podcasts were even a thing, I just took my violin recording stuff and I would take it on the road with me. And everywhere we play, I'd get music guys to talk about sports and sports guys to talk about music, and just started building something from there. So yeah, I was lucky enough in 2016, ESPN came to me and said, hey, we're going to offer you a college football show, but once a week. You could get fired after one show if it stinks, like no guarantees. And the band was about to put out a single, and I was like, man, ESPN's once in a lifetime. So I quit the band with no idea if they were actually going to keep me, and I've been in this world ever since. So it's been a wild life. I'm very, very lucky life.
Hey, you're also a Vegas guy, if I remember correctly, and how did the Big Ten end up having their media days? And, like, I'm just trying to understand, like, I don't think it's a good idea. There's no teams in the area. I guess USC and UCLA kind of, but, like, how did that all thing happen?
I mean, that's just Las Vegas deciding that they want to be a host for something and believing that they can turn everything into an event. But I think you make an important point. Like, part of the magic of SEC media days is that you are around the SEC. So you're around the environment and the feel of it. Like, there's something, especially when it was in Alabama, like in the middle of nowhere, and you're driving up to a hotel and it says it just means more in all the buildings. Like, there is something to that. I think they lose out, in my opinion, putting that in Vegas and not putting that in Michigan or Ohio State or heck, even I think there's a whole group of college places right now that are about to try and figure out how to compete in the new landscape, and they may not be who they were. So if you're Michigan State, let's say, or you're Wisconsin, or a Big Ten team that, like, is just trying to hold on to what the Big Ten means to you, I would put it somewhere like that and let that entire vibe be a vibe around the conference.
Talking to Jason Fitz here on TexAgs Live. Jason, I don't know how much you've seen about Texas A&M, but I'd love to get your thoughts on them entering this season with Coach Elko and hopefully a little health, which has been a problem the last few years.
Yeah, look, a couple of things. I think we have to be a little more patient, which I know doesn't exist in the SEC. But Elko, first year, I mean, he comes there with the defensive mindset, right? It takes a minute. And there aren't a lot of great comps in this to college football, but I do think, at some point you have to look around and say, hey, new coaches with the defensive mindset, I think, take an extra year. Look at the NFL, right? Seattle Seahawks go out and hire Michael McDonald to be their head coach. He had been the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, right? He comes over there. Baltimore, it takes them a year, the Seattle, I should say, takes them a year to really adjust. I think the defense for Texas A&M is going to look much better. And we also have to turn around and acknowledge that within conference last year, and Texas A&M scored points in conference. They just couldn't turn it into wins. So A&M is sitting right on the cusp. I think they've just got to find a way to translate close games into wins, which is all about momentum. I think the SEC's wide open. Texas A&M, things break right, they can be a playoff team, and I think that should be the expectation.
This year, we look at Tennessee and we're wondering, all right, quarterback room can't be as good, even though I wasn't that high on Nico. Running back room shouldn't be as good. Defense should be pretty solid. Where do you see Tennessee?
Yeah, that's an interesting part of this, because Heupel is all about, like, first and foremost, the SEC's caught up a little bit. Explosive plays are way down for Tennessee. So we keep talking about one route, wide receivers, and the way they like to push the ball down the field. The last couple of years, that's been taken away from Tennessee. They are now going to be a ground and pound team. They're going to have to. I don't trust their quarterback position at all. I'm with you. I wasn't huge on Nico. I mean, you got to at least throw the ball on fourth down at the end of the game to give your team a chance to win. He didn't do that. So I think there are moments for Tennessee where you got to turn around and say, man, they have just shot themselves in the foot consistently. But buts, and this is what I like to do. I think you'll appreciate this. Coming into the season, let's apply the universal. So either we're giving everybody the benefit of the doubt or we're giving nobody the benefit of the doubt. And I think when you start talking about quarterbacks and transfer quarterbacks, man, it's a slippery slope to give benefit of the doubt to the fact that that's just going to work with hype. I think Tennessee's going to struggle. And here's the problem. A couple of losses are the difference between being elite and being one of the also-rans. Alabama is learning this. Like when you suddenly don't have a cheat code and you find a way to win every game that's in front of you, you pick up a couple of those losses, you lose that cheat code, you lose your edge in the SEC. I think Tennessee takes a little step back because of it.
Okay, you mentioned transfer quarterbacks. What about first-time starters in Arch Manning? Gets all the hype in the world. Seems like to be a young man with a great head on his shoulders. Obviously, the pedigree, we all know about that. But he hasn't done it. I mean, he did it a couple of games. It's probably not fair, the expectations put on him, but what do you see from Arch?
Yeah, you're right. He hasn't done it against any real opponents. And also, did I miss the moment where Sark is a bad coach? Because this has been my argument on Arch the entire time. I hope he's just absolutely just destroys it this year and has a great year. I hope that because I always root for these kids. But if we're being honest, last year, if you watch Quinn Ewers at the end of the year, he was banged up. And there were times that he was just getting destroyed behind that offensive line. And what did they need? They needed a mobile quarterback to come in and make plays. Sark did not put in his mobile quarterback to make plays. So we keep sitting here talking about the greatness of Arch, and I'm watching a Texas team that I think had a real legitimate shot at a national championship last year, squander it in part because their quarterback wasn't good enough and wasn't healthy enough at the end of the season, and they chose not to put Arch in. That means something to me. All the way across the board, like if you look at college football right now and the way they're in love with Arch Manning, I would just remind everybody that we weren't in love with Jaden Daniels that way before his miraculous season, right? Like it's just these guys come from out of nowhere more often than they come predictably. So the whole concept of, my God, the Saints are going to try and lose every game to get him as their quarterback and all these things, like, do we even know Arch is going to be killer this year? Do we know he's going to be great? Do we know he's going to come out? Like the number of things that we presumed on Arch Manning just makes absolutely zero sense to me. Let's see how it actually looks on the field for a consistent, long amount of time. Let's see how it looks over the growth of a season when defenses get used to him. Like I just think the trajectory of Arch Manning it's much easier to bet my house that he's really good than he's epic and he's suddenly the greatest player in the sport.
Fitz, you mentioned Alabama earlier, and I'm curious about them because I feel like their defense is going to be great. I have questions about Ty Simpson. I really do, but I still think they're going to get back. I think they're going to be a step up from last year. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think it'll be a step up from last year, but two things here. Jalen Milroe was just a bad fit for that offense, and Kalen DeBoer, he gets his offensive coordinator back. That's going to be helpful. But look all the way back at Kalen DeBoer and where he's had the most success. He has success when guys have been in his system for a minute, which is harder and harder to do. Michael Penix Jr. had been in that system for a minute. He knew that system from the past, right? Like it is just harder and harder to do that in a transfer portal world. So my argument last year when coming into the season, when I was just getting destroyed by Alabama fans for predicting they would lose 3 or 4 games, was, man, there's an adjustment. The problem is that adjustment was only step 1. Now you got to get people in and keep people in long enough for them to become who they need to be. I think this offense is going to be, let's say, herky-jerky at best. It's going to have good moments and bad moments. And this is what Alabama's schedule does too. Like Alabama allows us to see them just beat up on cupcakes and everybody falls in love with how good it looks. And then you got to wait. You got to wait until you actually get to the meat of playing the good to figure out how it looks sustainably. Alabama they're a great program with so much history that I respect. I just don't think you can truly emphasize enough the loss of Saban for the next 3, 4, 5 years, because I think it takes that long for DeBoer to get the people in, keep the people in, and create his culture and system. And I don't even know if Alabama will give him that much grace if they don't get better.
Fitz, I look at A&M's schedule and I see these road games at Baton Rouge. They got to go to Notre Dame. They got to go to Texas. I wonder about Notre Dame because I do believe the defense will still – I love Marcus Freeman. I think the defense is going to be really good. But the fact that A&M gets them week 3, new quarterback, I don't know. Like, there's a part of me that feels like that if A&M is going to win one of those 3 games, that seems like the one that, and that could change the trajectory of the season as well.
Week 3 is the perfect place to get Notre Dame because you don't want to get week 1, new quarterback, new defensive coordinator. Got a lot you're going to have to study on Notre Dame out of the gates. Week 3, you get enough proof of concept, enough body of work that you're actually working with something at that point. It's early in the season. Marcus Freeman is, this is the hardest thing, and Notre Dame fans know this better than anybody. Like Mike Golick Jr. is like a brother to me, right? Like Gojo always talks about. They drop the 1 game a year they're not supposed to drop, right? So you expect Notre Dame to be at their best, at their most focused against a brand name opponent. That's what they always do. But I think when you catch them early, you really catch them with the opportunity to catch them a little off guard. That defense for Notre Dame is going to, again, I think it's a little dip before they get better by the end of the season. I'd rather catch them in the first 5 weeks than catch them in the last 5 for sure.
Let me close out with South Carolina with you because I am like everybody else. Lenore Sellers is this and that, but he's not Cam Newton. And I don't think he's got the pieces around him this year that he made better last year. And I think the defense takes a step back. Where are you on South Carolina?
Yeah, he's got to be much better. See, the thing of it is, last year, all he had to do was not lose games and make some good plays, right? That's a much different quarterback environment than coming in. What I think they're expecting this year is an explosion from him. And man, it's a lot of pressure. Turnovers are going to put them in a bad situation. I think South Carolina, of all the SEC teams right now that we're looking for a reason to hype, South Carolina is one that I'm just sort of mid on. Like, I think this is a moment for South Carolina where, man, I can see Sellers having some issues with turnovers and that getting them out of games early on. So South Carolina, I'm a seller on South Carolina this year.
Fitz, great stuff, man. Thanks for making time for us. Let's do it again during the season.
Anytime. I love it. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've been trying to get Fitz on the show for a while. He's great. We had him on in Houston when I did No Layups with Raheel. He was awesome then. He was awesome now. With a break, we'll come back with Around Aggieland, and Luke found a stat for us that we're going to discuss at some point, if not now, at the top of the 10 o'clock. Moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. If you're looking for a selection that won't break the bank, if you're looking for a wide variety selection, you go to Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They have an awesome staff there that bring decades of experience to the table with one goal: complete customer satisfaction. They're the absolute best at doing that. They don't just make sales, they make relationships, and that's why they offer this complimentary pickup and delivery for their service customers, because they know that your time is valuable. The Caldwell Country Chevrolet promise is simple. They treat every customer like family, and family deserves the best, including their world-famous free oil change for life that comes with every purchase of your vehicle as long as you own that vehicle. It's about a 15-minute drive. We're talking about the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites, they're on their way. Around Aggieland. Who do we have here? Kaylee Dreyer. Hello, ma'am.
Good morning.
That was a little more like professional, not professional, a little more formal, ma'am. Hello, Kaylee.
Yeah, I'm not that old yet.
That's the first time I think I've heard you laugh like that before. That was good. That was a good laugh.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get into what we have today because we have a decent amount.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Starting with the preseason watch list awards for A&M football, Torian York was named to the watch list for the 41st annual Butkus Award, which honors the nation's top linebacker. Willie III was named to the Bronco Nagurski Trophy preseason watch list, which is presented to the best defensive player in college football. Le'Veon Moss and Marcel Reed were named to the preseason watch list for the 2025 Maxwell Award, which is presented to the most outstanding player in college football. Armaje Reed Adams and Trezun III were named to the Outland Trophy Award, which is presented to the best interior lineman in college football. And then Casey Concepcion was selected to the preseason watch list for the Paul Hornung Award, which is presented to the most versatile player in college football. And then moving to track and field, they will be represented by a group of 15, split between 5 current student athletes and 10 pros at the USA Track and Field Championships. A&M's collegiate group features 5 All-Americans from the 2025 season, including Jaqueline Scott, Jasmine Montgomery, Cooper Cawthorpe, Bryce McCray, and Kennedy Wade. And then last thing I have is the Texas A&M women's golf team is sending a nation's best 6 girls to the 2025 U.S. Women's Amateur. Texas A&M's 6 active golfers are the most in the country.
Good stuff. Thank you, Ms. Dreyer. Appreciate you. That's good stuff. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Luke depressed me a moment ago with a stat that he found. I don't know if depressed is the right word. It just... It's just a stat. How about that?
Yeah. 4 of the 5 oldest quarterbacks in college football either played for Texas A&M or are currently playing at Texas A&M. That's Max Johnson, Haynes King, Zach Calzada, Jacob Zeno, and Drew Pine.
Okay. So Jalen Henderson's not there. Okay. Is he playing
at West Virginia?
Yeah.
That should be just regular year 4 for him, but everyone else is like extended careers.
Wow.
It's wild.
Well, one of the most tenured quarterbacks in the SEC is Marcel Reed. So I'm just saying, right? Like,
right, yeah.
I mean, we've got Lenoris, we've got Nuss, we got Povs.
Taylon Green. Slim pickings after that.
And then Marcel.
Yeah.
Huh.
Those are the only starting quarterbacks, yeah, that returned.
When we come back.
Oh, DJ Lagway. My bad.
DJ Lagway. Less starts than Marcel?
Yes.
When we come back on TexAgs Live, we're going to have a guy by the name of Billy Liucci on the program for the final hour of the show. Beyond that, around the SEC, what does Bickham have cooking in the back? Is it going to be a horrible stat or is it going to be awesome? It's not going to be a stat or awesome. He just shook his head. He said it's not going to be good. So you shouldn't listen. I'm kidding. Listen, we'll have a lot more here in the next few minutes. This is TexAgs Live. And we're back here on TexAgs Live. I've proven that I am the best at thumb wrestling in the history of the world.
Yeah, you just beat somebody that's 5 times younger than you. Congratulations.
Maybe more than 5 times younger than me. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Good job, Knox, by the way. Very good job. Let's do Around the SEC. And the Around the SEC is brought to you by the Jaxer Group. We've got Cade Bickham, who's always got information. How about that?
It is information. So the Netflix documentary on SEC football.
I can't wait.
Dropping August 5th. Okay.
Can I pause you before you say anything?
Yes, you can.
Tell me if you guys agree. I really want to watch it. I can't wait to watch it. I also want to stop watching when we get to November. I don't want to relive November.
Agreed. Yeah.
Right? I just want to I want to watch the LSU episode. That one seems like
and then we'll turn it off and have peace of
then we're
mind.
done.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't need to see it.
I don't need to watch what happened in the playoffs for other teams. I don't need to watch the last game at Kyle last year. I just want to watch the fun times. Fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
So that leads into one of my questions for you, which was, which game do you think that they were at filming at Kyle Field last year?
Do you have? So there's only one game.
Well, I don't know. I looked it
I'm
up.
pretty sure
and
they
I
were there
figure
for
out.
LSU and I think Texas.
Did you see them there?
I didn't, but I saw clips from the the preview, and I'm pretty sure I saw them a clip of A&M walking out of the tunnel in black uniforms, which we know is from the LSU game. And then I'm just assuming that if it was Texas A&M, I'm sure they had to have been there. But I think they were at the Florida game. If I remember correctly from a road game, I remember seeing clips from that.
Okay. Well, do you think anybody from TexAgs will be on the Netflix documentary in some way, shape, or form? And why is it Billy Liucci?
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't put it past them to flash to Billy Liucci on the sideline for a couple seconds.
Or an OB question at a press conference. I could see that.
Yeah. I wouldn't, or just a shot of me in the crowd yelling something obscene.
You're it's not basketball, all right? You'd be sure to get in the camera view in basketball. Kate, continue on, please. I'm sorry.
Well, a couple follow-up questions then. For if they do it this season, which game should they come to Kyle Field for? And then if they don't come to Kyle Field, which games would you want to see? Which A&M games would you want to see in the documentary?
Okay, so is this a yearly thing or is this a one-time thing?
I have no idea.
Let's do it.
I wish it was a
This is a what-if scenario,
what if?
hypothetical.
Okay. I think you got to come to Kyle Field for the Lagway game.
Yeah.
Right? The Lagway game, I mean, you can make an argument for South Carolina. And road game, is that what you're asking as well, Kate?
Yeah, so if they don't come to Kyle, then which road game would you want to be on there?
I mean, it's either Texas or LSU, right?
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with LSU.
I'm going Texas.
Do you think they would even do the Notre Dame game? Do you think?
I don't think they do
any
the
out-of-conference
games,
stuff?
right?
I don't know.
That would be interesting.
You know what I
don't know if they do.
I want it to be an every year thing because you know what my favorite show was growing up was Last Chance U. I feel like Netflix needs to get back to doing those year after year, following the same programs around type of thing. I don't know. I don't work at Netflix, but it would be great to get a series following SEC football every year. That to me would be really fun to watch.
I'm going to give you guys the bad answer and then the real answer.
Okay.
The bad answer is I just want games that A&M wins because I want us to look good in the national spotlight. Last year, national spotlight games, what were they? Okay. Texas, Notre Dame. I feel like everybody in the world watched South Carolina. Oh, and LSU. And LSU, right? Yeah. So those were the real national spotlight games,
and Missouri.
Right?
People forget that game probably should have been College Game Day. That was one of the top 2 games of the weekend, and it was an early game too. I don't think it's crazy to say A&M had 5 games last year that were major in the national spotlight.
Yeah, when I think about it, I'm trying to think what other. Arkansas was not a major spotlight game. No. Florida was a blur to me. I feel like that was a pretty spotlight game, though.
It ended in prime time because it got delayed for an hour and a half. But that was just your 2:30 kick, typical. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I thought we had 2 special guests. I realize we only have one today. I see Zane over there. Who's this?
That's Knox.
Knox, what's up? We have 2 special guests. Oh, we do? Oh, Knox's mom?
No. She's barely older than Knox.
I can't see that far. I have no idea who that is. I cannot see who that is from this far. Y'all are crazy.
All right, yes, sir.
Well, what?
We'll get into the pleasantries in a moment. I wanted to finish the thought.
Florida wasn't a spotlight game.
I had the flu, if you don't remember. I was dying.
That's the bad one. That's the one that Zane left out for 3 days. Oh, okay. It's new.
Can I see the ingredients?
No. So, Florida was like...
Show's already off the rails.
Florida was a midday game. The Gators had been humiliated by Miami. A&M had lost to Notre Dame. It was a couple weeks after that. It was kind of an under-radar game, and it was, I think, the game that temporarily... There were 2 games that turned A&M's season around. I think it was that one, and then I think it was South Carolina. Okay. No, I think the Florida game was when they built off that and kind of kept going until South Carolina. And I think a lot of that had to do with the Le'Veon Moss injury. So I mean that because again, I go back. I don't think that South Carolina game would have been nearly as devastating had Moss not been hurt. Because A, I think they either win or lose a close game. B, I think that they beat Auburn the following week. And C, I think they convert on 4th and 1 against Texas early in the game. And I think they convert. I don't think Le'Veon Moss or Eric Dickerson or Bo Jackson could have gotten that scored on that 4th and 1 play against Texas in this goal line because no one got blocked. I do think you had Moss, you're a lot more likely to have scored on the first or second. I mean, on the second or third down call. So, anyway, I thought that Florida game was a turning point, but I don't think it was a high-profile game. And by the way, I got a little something for you guys.
Okay, I got an answer. Oh, I just want to listen.
The 3 wise men. You,
Olin,
and
great posture.
You, Olin, and
I have no idea what nickname he's going with here.
The evangelist.
I'm not going to say on air, but you, Olin, and Luke were sitting here talking earlier and about all the stats and going, well, damn, I didn't know you could have 2 guys without. Well, when you play 15, 16 games, and that never came
was
up
more a
from
joke.
You 3 wise men. I know yours was a joke, but y'all were trying to say, well, what if A&M? The way the Aggies can get there is if they play 14, 15, 16 games. So those teams, look, the Aggies aren't going to have 2 receivers like Jeremiah Smith and what's his name? Ezugba? Exeba? I sound like Olin. Egbuka. I start. He was a big prize pick guy for me this year. But A&M's not going to have 1-2 like that. Okay? I'm not saying they're as good. I don't think they're going to have a first-round pick like Texas had in Golden. They might have a running back that can compare with Jeremiah Love, but Jeremiah Love's a great back. But all those stats, it's just not apples to apples when you're comparing 12 games to 15, 16 games.
100%.
So now you're Luke. I'm Olin. You're saying 100%.
Maybe Luke got it from me.
No, so I think
fair.
Your point is you better have some, other than Notre Dame, you better have some real offensive firepower. And I don't think it's even to make a run in the playoff. I think defense and good quarterback play might be the most important when you get there. But I think, you've got to get there by scoring a lot of points in this conference. You're going to have to. And that wasn't really necessarily the case when we first saw A&M come into the SEC, but that was now 14 years ago, and it is now. Like, you're going to have to be explosive at the skill spots and score a lot of points. And I think A&M's more explosive, but I do think there's a little bit I'm seeing and reading the way people are thinking and talking and even within this company to a lesser degree, but it's like they look improved at receiver. I'm really excited about where I think the improvements can come in the way of speed and guys making play. But again, you think about what and the running back room. I love the room, but who has done anything so far outside of Le'Veon to say, man, that's really good by SEC standards? Like, I think Amari Daniels has been a great player for this team in terms of what he provides. Depth, the ability to step in and start, play and hurt, if he's the second or third back. But, I mean, like, you look around like what you consider great rooms in this conference at receiver and running back over the years. And I think running back could be there because Reuben Owens is like this great unknown, right? If he becomes on a Moss-type level, then I think that room is what we're talking about. But until it is, that and those receivers, I think they make a big step this year. But we just talked about those two at Ohio State. You think about Chase and Jefferson. You think about the guys at Clemson that we saw A&M have to play. You look at the Bama room over the years. I mean, you look at some of those Ole Miss rooms that A&M had to face. So, yeah, they're getting there, but I still don't think this is going to be like elite SEC collection of skilled talent. I just think it's a noticeable step up from what we've seen the last couple few seasons for the Aggies. So, encouraging, but I don't think we should be sitting here going, this is going to be the unstoppable offense in this league, or this is going to be a top 2 or 3 unit. I'd be surprised if it were there, but I think it can make a significant jump, and I think it's going to be good enough, if Marcel's good enough, that they can outscore people if he makes that jump.
Let me ask you this. Compare the running back rooms of Notre Dame and Texas A&M, okay? Notre Dame, obviously more accomplished because they were healthy last year, and both guys were fantastic. Yeah. But if Reuben can live up to his potential, and Amari just keeps doing what Amari does.
Yeah, it's an if. It's an if. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it is an if. I think the running back room could be one of the best. I don't think, again, I think so much of that depends on Reuben Owens. Because when you talk about great SEC running back rooms, it's usually multiple guys, 5 stars waiting in the wings. So to me, that room gets there if Reuben Owens is even if he's just who he was prior to the injury last August. When they started camp, Reuben Owens' name was mentioned every bit as much as Le'Veon's. It was a 1-2, and everybody was beyond excited about what those two guys can do. So back then, he was thought to be like up on that level. If he's there, here over the next few weeks during camp, we start hearing about that, I'm going to feel really, really good. The wild card in the bunch, to me, fastest guy in that room, I think without question, can do some things catching the ball. He's a very, very explosive offensive player, Jamarian Morrow.
Yeah.
Wild card. Even in that crowded room, I would file him away.
Really?
Yeah. Even in that crowded room, I'd say I expect to see him get touches early in the season.
Yes, sir. We're watching practice, and we were in front of the defensive line for quite a while. We were a couple of different places, but we were watching some of the younger players. And one of the things I told you, because I don't remember thinking this last year, and maybe because my eyes were focused on Scorton and Shamar. But I looked at Cassius Howell, I'm like, God, he looks like an NFL player right now. Just the way he looked, the way he moved.
2 things. He was a really good player in the MAC. He led the MAC in sacks. That's a legitimate accomplishment. There's real football being played in that league. It's not the SEC. It's not the Big Ten. But plenty of NFL football players in that conference. Then he gets here, and like we've said many times, there were times last year where he looked like the best. He looked like the best pass rusher on this team. Just wipe out everything else and just say, who seems to get to the quarterback the most consistently or create the most havoc back there? And a lot of times you thought Cassius Howell. And then you look at his last, I don't know what he did against New Mexico State, but against Auburn, Texas, and USC, if you look at those stats in those 3 games, he's playing it like, I mean, those were like first team all SEC numbers. And it's only a 3-game sample size, but it's against Auburn, Texas, and USC. And not that those 2 of those weren't good, but I mean, that's real. It's a real SEC team with real talent. It's a real Big Ten team with real talent, and it was Texas. And that offensive line, that was pretty dominant last year in veteran. Physically, I'd say he and Rylan Kennedy, we were watching both of them, they may have come the furthest physically. I would throw Ratcliffe in there as well as 3 guys that really jump out at you of how far they've come physically since the end of last season till now. Like they walk in and they all 3 look like different guys. And yeah, scouts I talked to, I said it the other day, they're going to knock Cassius a tad because he doesn't have, like by pass rushing standards, he's short-armed guy. He can't change that, unfortunately. That's going to be what that is. But they love his game. They love his instinctive ability to get to the quarterback. Like you said, they love off the hoof, what he looks like on the hoof, I guess you say. But he's he looks like a high round pick. The scouts think he's going to be a high round pick. I had one tell me this weekend it wouldn't shock him if he was the highest one drafted out of this bunch.
Well, and then as expected, you expect your defensive line guys in the SEC to look a certain way. I was really impressed with the way Rylan Kennedy looked yesterday as well.
Yeah. So was I. That's why I said that a minute ago.
About Rylan Kennedy? Oh, sorry. I missed it. Did you say anything about TJ Searcy?
No, I did not.
All right.
I just was those 2. But yeah, sir, we were sitting there talking. I'm like, Searcy he looks like a guy that's been in a college weight room for a long time. But him, Howell, Kennedy, Marco Jones, even though he's just a true freshman, and Pemba looks incredible. I think he's got to show it more because unlike Searcy and Pemba hadn't played a ton in Georgia. Searcy played a ton of football at Florida. Deion Hayes played a ton of football at Pitt. He's another one that stands out. That end group looks really good when you just see them out there. They're quick. They're twitchy. I think they bring a lot that maybe the team didn't have as much of last year. Or really, I'm trying to think going back a couple. So maybe like a Tyree Johnson was the last guy that I thought was just that played that way. Shamar Stewart had it, but Shamar played, it was just different. It wasn't just like pin your ears back, go get after the passer. I think Shamar gets a bad rap because he didn't put up sack numbers. He played really damn good football at A&M in a lot of football games. But just these guys as a group, I just think there's more twitchiness, more length, more, and I mentioned Howell doesn't have that arm length, but the rest of the group, it's like a long, lean group when you include guys like Searcy and Jones and Rylan, Cassius, and Pemba. It's deep as we keep talking. Deion Hayes, I'm telling you, the players keep talking about him, how he's very difficult to block. Another guy, while we're talking, that the scouts are really fascinated by and intrigued by, and they think his ceiling is like second round. He's got to get there. Okay, see if you can tell who I'm talking about. He's got to get there. Luke, you can cut in too over there, Rosie. He's got to get there, but they think his ceiling could be as high as like second, maybe third round guy. But he's a dude that they think is really he's on everybody's radar.
Can you give me a clue?
No.
DJ Hicks?
Well, no. I'm not saying these guys aren't, but it's not who I'm talking about. Oh. Demetrius Crowno.
Oh, Crowno, okay.
He's a dude, and I know PFF's really high.
PFF had him really high, yeah.
And that's great and all. But I don't think a lot of the scouts are basing it off that. I think they're just basing it off the physical attributes, and you look at him right now, and really that O-line to me.
Fatherly looked really good, too.
Say, as a unit, that offensive line to me looks like they've really leaned up and trimmed up. And I know Zane really focused on how all the players got shorter, but what I'm noticing is that they all got leaner.
You want to discuss that?
The linemen got, well, I mean, there's nothing to really discuss. People made it a point to point out that I think basically what they were using were, whatever their heights were coming in, based on
as opposed to the real height.
And I think they went through this offseason and did
real measurements,
an actual real roster measurement, and that's accurate. I think it's finally like, in the past, different coaches that have come through, hey, David Nuño's 6 foot.
Yeah.
And scouts come in and go, I read y'all stuff. It said this guy was 6 foot. He's
5'9".
He's 5'9". And you do that year in and year out with player after player after player, and it's kind of a little bit of a credibility thing.
Don't we always do it anyway? Like, oh, he's listed as 6'3", he's 6'2".
Yeah, we do that when we see it. We go, well, he's not really 6'3". But when scouts
in
come
all
in,
sports, though,
it would be really nice if they would come in and have an accurate idea coming in of how tall or short a guy is. So Tommy Moffitt does not have some magical shrinking potion, but he is using it. Maybe he does have it, because I did notice that some of these offensive linemen and defensive linemen look a lot leaner.
More cut.
Yeah, they do. And the linemen have less belly.
Tight ends as well.
In the past, yeah.
When we come back, Billy, 25 and 25, presented by La Casa Tequila. Number 16 is Terry Bussey. We'll do that on the other side.
Fun one.
All right, we're talking about Heritage Films. Chance McClain's my buddy. He runs that company. They tell family stories that would be otherwise lost forever. If you've got a family business, a family ranch, or you just want to honor somebody in your family, let Chance and his team do it in a Netflix-style documentary. We're talking about a 2-hour documentary that Chance and his team come to you, and they film it, and they put it together in 8 to 10 weeks, and there you have it, a 2-hour documentary. We did it with my dad, who just turned 95 yesterday. They can do it for your dad, your grandfather, whoever it may be. Let Chance and his team do it. If you got a family ranch, you want to tell that story for the future generations that are going to inherit that land, have Chance and his team do it. 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341, or visit yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com. It's Heritage Films. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. 25 and 25, presented by La Casa Tequila, raised in Aggieland, rooted in the SEC. As we mentioned earlier, number 16 is Terry Bussey. So back-to-back days with young, exciting wide receivers. Yesterday was Mario Craver. Today is Terry Bussey.
Yeah, look, Terry Bussey, I think we're looking at Aaron Gregory, who I think, if he's not a 5-star by the end of these recruiting services, it just further proves they don't know what they're doing. I think they do a good job, but they will have completely missed on that one if they don't bump him up. And I think most of the people in the industry realize that I talked to, so I'm wondering why they don't. But what I'm getting at is Aaron Gregory might end up 5-star. And we're looking at all these players. We're looking at Concepcion and Craver and obviously KC is going to be talked about later. We just talked about Craver. But you're looking at, I talked earlier, a receiving core of these ultra-gifted weapons so Mario Craver's only a sophomore, so he's back. And you're going to look up and see the speed of Craver, the speed of Bethel Roman. You're going to see Jerome Miles and his size, and there's a 5-star. And you're going to see Aaron Gregory, who I think will ultimately be a 5-star. And then you're going to see Terry Bussey. And you're going to look up, and A&M's going to have signed, I think, a 5-star athlete in Bussey, receiver in Miles and Gregory. And then you're going to have an upperclassman in Craver. Like, it's going to start looking like it needs to look to strike fear into opposing SEC secondaries, no matter how good they are. Because you play great secondaries in this league, week in and week out. So you've got to have guys that strike fear. Terry Bussey, now that he's had a whole year to play wide receiver and whatever type of weapon that we're going to call him, the X factor, is he like, I'm sticking with A&M, is he Dante Hall, or is it like a Percy Harvin, or you just go back to A&M, is it Anais Smith? Whatever type weapon you want to call him, he can get it. You hand him the ball, you can line him up at running back, you can line him up at receiver, motion him into running back, motion him back out to receiver, get matchups. He's going to be, I think he'll be a problem for opposing teams in the return game if they go that route, which I think you'll see him on probably punt return. Terry Bussey is a dynamic weapon, and he's a kid that was playing 1 or 2A football, Luke?
That was 1A.
1A football a year ago. Got here, didn't come in the spring. Got here 2A, 2A Timson. So got here in the spring. Got here in the summer, and he had a knee injury he was recovering from. So he missed most of that summer off season. Starts camp, looks pretty good at corner. Would probably be starting right now at corner had he stayed at that position. Probably be a second-year starter. They needed his playmaking ability and that electricity with the ball in his hands at receiver. So midway through fall camp, they said, hey, you're going to play offense. So now he's having to learn Colin Klein's offense, play against the SEC, coming from 2A football. This was a massive transition for this kid, and he still made plays and flashed like that big-time ability that he's got, whether it be a play against Missouri, whether it was against Texas early in that game with that catch, whether it was against honestly, it's like a 1-yard play, but he fought as a runner for a massive touchdown. I think he wildcatted at Auburn there. And that showed some real power to fight that ball across the goal line. So, yeah, Bussey's just a straight-up ball player, dude, period. I'm not sure you couldn't play him both sides of the ball, but you're not going to do that this early in his career. That would just take away from his learning curve on offense.
By the way, another guy, and you kind of expect it being in a weight room for a while, but I look at him, he looks like a stronger version of himself. Like you can see it physically in his pads.
I don't want to say baby fat, because that dude's he was in better shape when he got here than most of us ever were in our lives. No offense, David.
It does kind of hurt my heart.
I still think Terry Bussey.
You think he'd beat me in a race?
I hope so. My God.
I'm kidding.
I hope Demetrius Crownover would beat you in a race.
Everybody on the team.
Like I'm saying, the old linemen need to be.
Elko would beat me in a race.
Well, I mean,
he would. I saw him running yesterday.
I did see him run the bases.
Yeah, he's fast.
He probably would.
Yeah.
You got those calves getting away.
They
there
do.
You're running.
Yeah.
No, I think Bussey is a potential breakout player that we don't talk about enough. And part of that has to do with he missed most of spring. Had he been out there making plays and looking pretty dynamic in spring, I think everybody would be buzzing about him. He wasn't. So people are just going off of what they saw last year, which was flashes of it. Now he comes in, I think he's going to be ready to break out this season. And I think still a guy with all SEC talent. And now Colin Klein has had a year to understand the weapon he has in Terry Bussey versus midway through fall camp saying, oh, here's this guy, teach him offense. Teach him the offense. But, oh, by the way, we're going to play him some at receiver. Sometimes he's going to be in the backfield. There wasn't that much you could force feed him, I think, without taking away from his performance. So I thought they had to be careful with him throughout the year. This was not – I see people go, well, this true freshman at this school did this and this guy did that. Yeah, and you might see Jerome Miles do more this year at receiver because it's what he's played his whole life and it's what he's going to play from day one here. Yeah. And a lot of those other freshmen you see are guys that were here in the spring. So they had spring, they had a full off season, they came in healthy, they never flitted around at corner. So I think Bussey's year 1 to year 2 jump could be as big as anybody's on this team.
It's a really good picture, by the way, our team put together. See behind you? You know, look. Good picture.
That's a great picture.
Yeah. All right, we'll hit a break. Awkward endings to segments is what I do. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
questions.
And we're back.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. You want to finish that thought?
No, it was just we were talking about future in the business. I think you're more the standard template and how the career path.
Standard / not standard.
But standard keeps changing.
Yeah.
You're the standard of like when our age was entering sports media, and you didn't even were you necessarily always sports or were you?
No, I was a banker.
No, I know that, but when you got into
Always
the news,
sports.
okay,
Yeah, always sport. Except my last year at ABC 13, they had
I'd
me
take out a loan with you.
What do you?
Yeah, you seem like a fellow that would be trustworthy.
You want a
and
small business
convince
account?
me.
I got you.
Yeah.
Savings? High yield savings?
We did that. We were the small business. I heard someone say something the other day, and they were almost like, I didn't know the insinuation, but it was almost like we didn't, like we weren't. Now, I just think they didn't understand the background of this thing, that this thing came from like zero, nothing. It was like this. It was like that's not a piece of paper. It was like literally on a piece of paper like that. We were talking about it the other day, Jay Brooks. You were at dinner?
Yeah.
We talked about it. Like, for those of you that remember the old school Maroon and White report, and when I started that thing, it was literally like interviewing my roommate. The players were like stopping by the house to do interviews while the rest of the house is like, come on, let's go, like ready to go to the tap. And we're sitting there. And Jay Brooks, we were at dinner in Atlanta, Nuño and I and Jay, and he was telling Nuño how, and I forgot about this, but it would be like guys on the team, like our friends, whether Jay, Seth, whoever, and they'd be sitting there folding print newsletters, Luke, which I don't even know if you would do this type of manual labor today. Fold a print newsletter, put the little round sticker, peel it off, stick it so it wouldn't come apart, and that's how it was mailed. Then peel the label. I mean, it was like.
What was the?
And then I would drive to the post office and mail them out. And then finally, I had a printer start doing that, and it just.
What was the program you used? PageMaker.
PageMaker. God, Matt Simon, who still works here at A&M. We had lunch this week, but Simon, like, was trying to teach me PageMaker, and they make fun of me because I would literally have an old publication that Doug Walker had done on the Maroon and White report before I started writing it. And I would just delete that text, go in, right there with the...
and back then you couldn't do Control-A.
And I would start typing, and then I would have to make it fit, because if I typed too long, it would go into the print ad that I just left in place. And because no one knew PageMaker. Yeah. I kept asking people. It was like, well, you should take a class. Where are the classes for this? So I was just literally roster. Oh, they did a roster. Doug used to do a roster. Let me delete Luke Evangelist's name from Florida, from, Baylor. And I'm going to type in David Nuño's name from Florida State, because that's who they're playing. Change the height. I mean, it was ridiculously tedious and way more than it should have been.
Good to see.
Look, my ass was on dial-up 3 years after.
You don't know life about dial-up.
I was born in 2001. I have no idea what these terms are.
So dial-up, okay, to get on the internet before the internet, there was a thing called AOL, and there was Prodigy. What else was there? That was it, right? And you would have to call on your phone, like a fax line, an area, and then there was no browser. It was just what they offered. It was, here's our news, here's a couple stories, and that was it. That was the world of the internet before 94-ish, right?
Can you search things
Luke
up?
complains if he's got to work a 3-hour day.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, whoa.
He's been here 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm saying he's
It's time to go.
He's
about to complain,
yeah. Hey, one of the things that we're not going to be able to take away too many things from practice just yet.
No, but...
You knew it was coming.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
but...
it's 2 days. Well, it's 2 days of like 30 minutes each day.
But
I do like the fact we're out there, I think, a little longer in this new setup, which I like.
But also, I liked seeing a couple of the names that I wasn't so sure how healthy they would be.
Yeah.
Like Le'Veon, like Ruben, who we talked about earlier, like Mark Naboo, Tyreek Chappelle, just some names of guys that like, hey, they're out here, and I don't know. If we had any questions, we're still going to have questions, but I think a little bit of that was just like, all right, I see guys out there.
Yeah, no, I think they entered camp healthy, which he alluded
said they
to
would
during
be.
that presser. I think they're and look, I think part of the I don't know if anyone asked him this yet about practicing later in the evening. I saw, some jackass Texas fans thought they'd be cute about them practicing late. I love it. The one thing I think coaches differ on so much, and it is complete trial and error, but I think it's very important in this conference, whether you're in Gainesville or Athens or Baton Rouge or Tuscaloosa, anywhere at College Station, anywhere in the South, as hot as it is, I have seen A&M teams, and I've talked to coaches that after the fact have admitted our guys were dead-legged in September. It took a few weeks to get it. Like, it absolutely happens, and I think there's also a cumulative effect from now until November, the end of the season. All of this stuff is wear and tear and fatigue, but especially early in the year. If you want your team to look slower than you thought they were, I've seen coaches talk to their strength coaches like, what the hell's going on? Well, it's probably because of the way you practiced in August in this heat. That's why everyone has these indoors. It's not only because if it's raining and lightning or something so you can get practice. It's also because there are times when you can split up practice. I'm telling you, this heat takes a toll, and it especially takes a toll on your legs early in the season. It is a moving target like no other, and coaches are always trying to figure it out. And I think
they're also kind of practicing the heat too, though.
They have. You have to do that too, obviously, and that's the number one. You have to get them acclimated to that heat prior to the season. I don't know if someone said this or not. I don't know how accurate this is. Someone said there were like 12 practices were going to be heat of the day ones, and like 8 of them
at night
in the evening. So we'll see. I mean, by the way, when they start practice, it's still like 90, but definitely given, I think there's obviously a plan for this, and I don't think it's as simple as going, oh, they're still in summer school. It might be, but I think it's by design to kind of, let's not kill these guys' legs in August when we got a couple of really big games in September.
All right, let's do a final segment on the other side. You're listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
No, you're not.
We're back, but you could say it on the air.
Yeah,
Luke thinks he can beat us at fitness stuff.
No, I don't even claim. I'm not trying. Like, what did Kenny Powers say to that guy, the principal, when he said he ran a triathlon and he did? Yeah, hey, he's like, we're both athletes. He goes, no, we're the same. He goes, no, I'm not trying to be the best at exercise.
You don't want to be the top 1%. I get it. It's fine. I strive for the best. I'm not going to get there, but I strive for it.
If it means weighing my chicken at lunch on a phone scale, then yes, I don't want to be the 1%.
I've never taken a scale to lunch with you.
Do you have a scale? Have you brought a scale upstairs and weighed your
No,
chicken?
there used to be one upstairs. It wasn't my scale. I just took advantage of it. I usually do my weighing of my meat at home.
Billy, you saw it at preseason kickoff, and all the people that are listening and watching saw it too. At the end of the buffet line for the fajitas, there was a scale for David.
Who made that?
For him to weigh his chicken.
I did
and
not
steak.
see that.
There was not a scale.
There was a scale, and you can fact check anybody you want. Ask the catering company. There was a scale at preseason kickoff.
Luke, can you offer something?
What would happen if you ate too much chicken inadvertently?
I don't want to eat too little chicken.
What's wrong, David? What's wrong? Well, I had an extra 3 ounces of chicken.
No, that's the opposite.
It's taking a toll.
See,
please help.
You don't recognize.
What do we do? What's the process here? I don't know. Save me. It's too much protein. It didn't fall.
There's no such thing as
fall
protein.
into my lane.
I'm guessing I have more protein than you a day. In fact, that's a fact.
I would hope so, buddy. I did.
You like that one, Knox? That was good.
Knox, don't ever live like this. He was 9-year-old Knox does not need to. How old are you, Knox? Yeah, 9-year-old Knox does not
Knox
need to
needs
learn
to
these
come
lessons.
talk to Uncle David more often. We'll tell him some great stuff. Luke, offer some perspective, something of value to the show, please.
I've got 2 things for you.
Thank you.
Happy 55th birthday to Quentin Coriat.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And 44 turning 55.
Yeah,
one of the nicest humans in the world and the most ferocious people in the world.
Yep, the hit.
Yep.
And Brad Duncan says, my hot take is that the Notre Dame game is our most important game of the season because it would allow you to take losses in the conference that wouldn't ultimately affect your SEC championship aspirations, therefore your playoff aspirations.
Well, it would affect your SEC championship aspirations
because you would lose a couple in the SEC
conference games. So you've already taken a few liberties with this tweet, Luke.
Wasn't a tweet.
Brad Duncan.
Basically, he's saying the result of the Notre Dame game is super important because if you win it, you can now afford to take a couple losses in conference play.
I
think it counts the same. I think it counts the same as any of the SEC. Like if you lose to Arkansas, it's every bit as important as if you beat Notre Dame. If you beat LSU, it would be as important as if you lost to Notre Dame. Probably even a little more important because it is SEC. I agree with him from the standpoint, for some reason, I feel like it's the most important. And I might go back to what you said. 2 things. I think it would do wonders for the visibility and the confidence of this football team and what the country thinks. I think this place would be going insane when Auburn came in here later in the month. It ups your chances of beating them. And if you're undefeated through September, I think all eyes are going to be on Mike Elko and this program going, this is a team that can make a playoff run. And with that comes confidence in your team. The home field advantage gets better and better. Like, remember where they were at after they beat LSU, and imagine if Auburn and South Carolina were coming to College Station. Now, Texas was good enough. They were able to withstand it. They also were playing an A&M team on a 2-game SEC losing streak. But imagine had you played LSU and the next week South Carolina was coming in here versus going up there to that environment. When you're playing, so when things are rolling, like what LSU saw, this place is an absolute buzzsaw. So let them get Notre Dame. I agree. I think it's the most important individual game, but it's not the be-all, end-all. It's no more. It's important for the intangibles. Again, if you beat Notre Dame and lose to Arkansas, you give it right back. If you lose to Notre Dame and beat LSU, that's actually a more important game because
of conference.
It gives you a bit, it's a conference game and gives you
and something you haven't done forever
to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So
you said you had 2 things. What was
Those were the 2.
Those were the 2.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a minute left, Billy. I enjoyed this week. because it was not because of you. I mean, you were good. Yeah, but it was fresh football, right? Like we actually got to see some football and
they're putting the pads on, by the way. I mean, they've had shoulder pads on them. I mean, the real stuff starts here in the next couple of days. Like they're hitting what we call real football. They'll be scrimmaging before you know it.
I didn't see, so I'm sure Luke can tell me right now what happened in the Hall of Fame game.
Oh,
absolutely destroyed the Lions. Huh. Texas A&M legend Kyle Allen did not have his best game.
No. Dan was not happy in the preseason game did Goff even suit up? I missed the beginning.
No.
Did Herbert even suit up?
No.
Yeah, that was they're making us play earlier than we want, so we're really not playing type thing. But I promise you, Dan was probably not fun to be around in that post-game locker room and flight home.
That's it. Thank you, Billy. That's going to do it for TexAgs Live. On Monday, a great show. We can't wait till then. See you then.